Chapter 15:18. Isn't this a little too abnormal? Everyone felt their scalps go numb when they saw the zombie swallow everyone's attacks in one gulp. The zombie's strength was indescribable with words. This was after the evil corpse had suffered serious injuries, yet it still had such terrifying fighting strength. It was hard to imagine what kind of fighting strength the evil corpse had when it was not injured. We're in trouble now. We have to leave quickly. The zombie can't fight it at all. We have to find a way out, Lin Feng said in a deep voice. He grabbed Hua Yihan's hand and rushed into the distance. The zombie was so strong that it made people despair. They were simply overestimating themselves if they wanted to fight the zombie. Lin Feng was very clear about this. The others were also very clear about this. The only way to escape was to find a way out. However, it was obviously not an easy task. Many people had tried to find a way out before, but to no avail. Now, it was easier said than done to find a way out. However, other than this method, what else could they do to leave this strange small world? Hurry up and run. Many people cried out in fear and fled into the distance. The zombie had already rushed into the crowd and started to attack everyone crazily. The zombie was too fast. It was so fast that only an afterimage could be seen in the void. Pooh, pooh, pooh. The sound of something being torn apart could be heard. The zombie grabbed the hearts of the cultivators and threw them out. The zombie only ate the hearts. It didn't even touch the other parts of the body. After the cultivators' corpses fell to the ground, they were quickly swallowed by the earth. It was a hair-raising scene. Lin Feng had seen the ancient cosmic city devouring cultivators' corpses before. He didn't expect that it wasn't just the ancient cosmic city that could devour cultivators' corpses. Even the small world in the Great Yuan Dao Palace could devour cultivators' corpses. Many cultivators died tragically under the zombie's sharp claws, while the others were lucky enough to escape. The zombie didn't immediately look for other cultivators. Instead, it went to the heaven-shaking stone tablet. It sneered and said, "Great Yuan Dao Palace Lord, did you think that there would be a day when I would return? You schemed so hard to kill me, but didn't you fail in the end? And now, you don't even have a corpse left behind. If you knew this day would come, would you still have insisted on fighting me to the death? Won't rest until one of us dies?" The evil corpse wiped off the blood on the heaven-shaking stone tablet, then licked the blood on his finger with his scarlet tongue. The evil corpse said eerily, "It tastes really good. This might be the only thing you left in this world." The evil corpse took a deep breath and swallowed all the blood on the heaven-shaking stone steel. However, the blood had been on the heaven-shaking stone steel for too long, so it had formed patches of blood-red imprints. "This heaven-shaking steel now belongs to me." The evil corpse laughed sinisterly. He held the heaven-shaking steel with both hands and lifted it up. After that, the evil corpse soared into the sky and flew into the distance. In the end, it arrived in front of a waterfall. The evil corpse placed the heaven-shaking steel in the waterfall to wash it. "Wash away the past, and you will have a new master." The evil corpse cleaned the heaven-shaking steel. The heaven-shaking steel suddenly became smooth, and the small words that were originally covered by dust. Now, they had also appeared. These words. The evil corpse seemed to recognize them. "Bury the 9 heavens. Reverse the chaos of billions of generations." The evil corpse read the words on it. There were about 3,000 to 4,000 words, and he frowned. The heaven-shaking steel recorded a huge secret, and now, the evil corpse was coming into contact with these secrets. However, the evil corpse only read a few dozen words, and the 3,000 to 4,000 words gradually disappeared. Why did it disappear? The evil corpse roared angrily. The heaven-shaking steel was very mysterious. Rumor had it that there were originally 18 wordless heavenly steels, and the words on them were not carved by humans. It was the heaven-shaking steel that took the initiative to manifest. Since it could manifest the words on its own then, naturally, it could also make these words disappear. And now, these words had disappeared. "Come out, hurry up and come out." The evil corpse punched the heaven-shaking steel again and again. However, he was simply unable to destroy the heaven-shaking steel, and the words on the heaven-shaking steel did not continue to manifest. "This damned steel. I almost lost my life because of you. But you hid your own secrets. The evil corpse kept cursing. In the past, the heaven-shaking steel was actually obtained by the Tayuan Palace Lord by chance. Later, the evil corpse found out that he had killed the Tayuan Palace Lord's entire family while he was out, and then wanted to snatch the heaven-shaking steel. However, the evil corpse did not expect the Tayuan Palace Lord to rush back in time and seal the evil corpse in his own small world. After that, the Tayuan Palace Lord and the evil corpse started an intense battle. This battle caused the heavens to collapse and the earth to crack. The evil corpse used the heaven-shaking steel to kill the Tayuan Palace Lord. However, before Lin Feng, the Tayuan Palace Lord had used his strongest attack to completely destroy the evil corpse. Unfortunately, the Tayuan Palace Lord had only destroyed the evil corpse's soul, but not its physical body. The evil corpse was very terrifying when it was alive. If its physical body was not destroyed, it could turn into an evil spirit in the future. Countless years had passed. It had really turned into an evil spirit. However, the evil corpse was no longer the god of the past. The evil corpse could not make the words on the heaven-shaking steel appear again. In anger, the evil corpse soared into the sky and flew into the distance. The cultivators in this small world were instantly in trouble. Many people died tragically under the evil corpse's attack. This small world was not big. It had a radius of 500 miles. With the evil corpse's spiritual sense, it could cover the entire small world. Therefore, they wanted to escape from the evil corpse. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Not long later, the cultivators in the small world were basically killed by the evil corpse. The evil corpse ate their hearts, and the corpses were devoured by the small world just like before. Come out! Above a mountain range, the evil corpse slapped the mountain range below with a cold and eerie voice. Bang! The mountain range collapsed. Then, a cultivator rushed out from the mountain range. This cultivator was actually Old Man Kuan Xian. Old Man Kuan Xian fled into the distance. He had no intention of fighting the evil corpse at all. This was because the evil corpse was too terrifying. No one was a match for it. You can't get away. The evil corpse rushed forward and said coldly. In a mountain forest more than 10 miles away, Lin Feng and Hua Yihan were hiding. They looked at Old Man Kuan Xian and the evil corpse in the sky with a serious expression. Old Man Kuan Xian is a divine flame realm expert. He should have some hidden methods. I wonder if he can fight against the evil corpse? Hua Yihan said with a pale face. It's useless. The evil corpse is too strong. Old Man Kuan Xian will definitely fall. Lin Feng said. His heart was heavy. Most of the cultivators who entered this small world should have died. Would it be his and Hua Yihan's turn soon? Chapter 15:19. Boom! A terrifying shockwave swept through the world. The evil corpse's attack was very terrifying, directly enveloping Old Man Kuan Xian, making it impossible for him to dodge. Old Man Kuan Xian had no choice but to stop to block the evil corpse's attack. After all, Old Man Kuan Xian was a divine fire realm expert, so he was not to be underestimated. Old Man Kuan Xian's hands continuously changed seals. Powerful mana fluctuations surged out, and above the 9 heavens, the Milky Way world appeared. Then, one star after another smashed towards the evil corpse. The stars fell like rain. This was an extremely tyrannical attack. Even though he was far away, Lin Feng could feel the power of Old Man Kuan Xian's sacred art. However, the evil corpse was even stronger. Facing the falling stars, the evil corpse waved his right hand, and monstrous demonic chi surged. Bang, bang, bang. Along with the sound of collision one after another, stars were shattered one after another. Mountain-shattering fist. The evil corpse stood in midair and punched out 1,000 meters away from Old Man Kuan Xian. Old Man Kuan Xian felt as if he was struck by lightning. His body flew backwards. Wah! He spat out a mouthful of blood. His body exploded, dripping with blood. The evil corpse was an almost invincible existence. A casual attack was actually able to injure an expert like Old Man Kuan Xian so heavily. Lowly creature, a mere 9th layer of the divine fire realm dares to jump around in front of me. If it was in the past, A cultivator like you wouldn't even have the qualifications to be my servant. The evil corpse looked at old man Kuan Xian indifferently. This kind of arrogance came from the depths of his bones. The evil corpse did not put old man Kuan Xian in his eyes at all. Of course, the evil corpse had this strength. Perhaps, in the eyes of the evil corpse, old man Kuan Xian was just an ant. Old man Kuan Xian laughed bitterly and said, I never thought that I, Kuan Xian, would finally die in this place. Even if I die today, I will drag you down with me. Boom! A terrifying fluctuation was emitted from old man Kuan Xian's body. Next, a large amount of flames surged out of old man Kuan Xian's body. Those flames wrapped around old man Kuan Xian's body. Old man Kuan Xian's body burned fiercely. Old man Kuan Xian's body naturally, his battle strength to the extreme, and rushed towards the evil corpse. Divine fire to ignite the body? You want to fight me one last time? The evil corpse immediately revealed a sneering expression. In the eyes of the evil corpse, no matter what method old man Kuan Xian used to increase his battle prowess, old man Kuan Xian had to use. To him, they posed no threat at all. Very quickly, old man Kuan Xian arrived in front of the evil corpse. The evil corpse's expression was cold. He raised his right hand and slashed at old man Kuan Xian. Just as the attack was about to land on old man Kuan Xian, his body suddenly swelled. Old man Kuan Xian didn't want to have a final battle with the evil corpse. Instead, he wanted to self-destruct. Madman, self-destructing will destroy your body and soul. You won't even have the chance to reincarnate. Seeing that old man Kuan Xian was about to self-destruct, the evil corpse's expression changed abruptly. He quickly retreated, trying to avoid old man Kuan Xian. Old man Kuan Xian's face twisted. What reincarnation? Even if there really is a reincarnation, I don't care anymore. I just want your life. No matter what price I have to pay, I won't regret it. Old man Kuan Xian gave chase. Then, his body instantly exploded. The self-detonation of a Godfire realm powerhouse was naturally incomparably terrifying. The evil corpse was submerged in the energy of old man Kuan Xian's self-destruction. At the center of the explosion, an angry roar could be heard. The evil corpse rushed out and roared at the sky. One of his arms was blown off. Apart from that, the evil corpse didn't suffer any other injuries. Seeing this scene, Lin Feng's face turned pale with shock. That was the self-destruction of a divine fire realm expert. Unexpectedly, it only destroyed one of the evil corpse's arms. This evil corpse was too terrifying, wasn't it? You actually made me lose an arm. You really deserve to die 10,000 times for your sins. The evil corpse's expression was gloomy. Right now, he couldn't wait to tear old man Kuan Xian into pieces, but old man Kuan Xian had already died. The evil corpse finally soared into the sky and flew away. He left. Lin Feng let out a long breath. The cave he and Hua Yihan were hiding in was covered by a concealment restriction. Even the evil corpse didn't discover them. Hua Yihan sighed and said, even a powerful existence like old man Kuan Xian died. Sooner or later, he'll discover us. Lin Feng said, you don't have to worry now. I'm studying the formation to break this small world. It's only a matter of time. Hua Yihan smiled and said, I believe you can definitely do it. At night, Hua Yihan took the initiative to snuggle into Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng immediately felt apprehensive. What was wrong with this girl's brain? She actually took the initiative to throw herself into his arms? Hua Yihan saw that Lin Feng was looking at her. She directly sat on Lin Feng's body and began to tear off Lin Feng's clothes. What are you doing? Lin Feng grabbed Hua Yihan's hand. This girl is too abnormal. It made Lin Feng's hair stand on end. Hua Yihan struggled free from Lin Feng's big hands, and then continued to tear off Lin Feng's clothes. I might die tomorrow. I've never had a man before, so I don't know what it's like. I want to try it. Hua Yihan's voice was trembling. Her body was also trembling, but her movements were crazy, and Lin Feng's clothes were torn apart. Many times, when one was facing death, it might not be that terrifying. What was truly frightening was the process of waiting for death. From Hua Yihan's point of view, Lin Feng's words during the day were only to comfort her. This small world simply could not be broken. She and Lin Feng could be discovered by the evil corpse at any time. Then, at that time, what they faced was death. Therefore, Hua Yihan wanted to go crazy. Hua Yihan's pink lips bit Lin Feng's lips. Her movements were very jerky. Lin Feng felt that if he really did something with Hua Yihan now, wouldn't it be too beastly? After all, the current Hua Yihan was very abnormal. However, Lin Feng could not resist the passionate Hua Yihan. If one day you go out, will you regret today's madness? Lin Feng asked. I don't regret it. I don't hate you. On the contrary, I like you a little. Hua Yihan bit her lips and said, I'm willing to let you take my body. Hua Yihan's voice trembled. Hua Yihan had already said so much. If he were to push her away now, he would be in trouble. Was that still a man? Lin Feng also began to take the initiative. That night, for Hua Yihan, it was a special day. Because she had been a young girl, she had become a young woman. Chapter 1520. The one-armed evil corpse became even crazier. It searched everywhere for the cultivators that entered the small world. Originally, there weren't many cultivators left alive in the small world. When the evil corpse searched for these cultivators for the second time, the cultivators that were originally hiding were all found by the evil corpse. Then, the evil corpse mercilessly killed them and ate their hearts. There's something else here? When the corpse passed by the mountain range where Lin Feng and Hua Yihan were hiding, its eyes flickered with dense killing intent. It was obvious that the corpse had found something amiss. No one can escape the fate of death. Boom. The corpse attacked with a palm strike towards the mountain range. We've been discovered, Hua Yihan said with a pale face. After Hua Yihan turned from a young girl to a young married woman, she had a charming temperament and was even more enchanting than before. Lin Feng took out the void teleportation talisman. After the talisman was activated, it released a spatial teleportation power that instantly enveloped the two of them. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng and Hua Yihan disappeared without a trace. Bang! The corpse's attack landed on the mountain range that stretched for more than 10 li, causing the entire mountain range to crumble. They're not here, but such a powerful spatial teleportation power. Did they use the void teleportation talisman to leave? The corpse's eyes flickered with coldness. Its powerful divine sense continued to search the pocket world. Lin Feng and Hua Yihan appeared 50 li away. The pocket world was empty, and there were no other cultivators. Lin Feng brought Hua Yihan to many places, hoping to find some clues that would allow them to leave the pocket world. However, the corpse was always able to lock onto them and chase after them. Brad, do you think you can escape? I am the ruler of this pocket world. The corpse's voice was cold. Ruler? The outside world is very big. Do you know how much the word ruler means? Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue? Lin Feng mocked. There was no need to be polite to the corpse. Could it be that he would be able to escape this calamity just by saying nice words? Lin Feng took out the void teleportation jade talisman. He and Hua Yihan disappeared once again. It's that stone tablet. Hua Yihan saw the heaven-shaking steel beside a pool of water. She pointed at it and said, Lin Feng landed. The blood on the heaven-shaking steel had already disappeared. Was it swallowed by the evil corpse? Hey, look, there are two kinds of bloodstains on the stone tablet. One is dark, and the other is brighter. Hua Yihan pointed at the stone tablet. Lin Feng looked over and indeed discovered this point. This was the bloodstain left behind by the blood that had spilled on the heaven-shaking stone tablet. The brighter colors were obviously left behind by the fresh blood that had not dried up not long ago. As for the dark bloodstains, they were clearly even more ancient. When Lin Feng saw the faint color of the blood, his sovereign blood began to tremble. Then, Lin Feng couldn't help but cry. This is the blood of an ancestor? It spilled on the heaven-shaking stone tablet? Muttered Lin Feng. It was the ancestor of his mother's clan, the inheritance of a sovereign's bloodline. Lin Feng reached out and touched the bloodstains. His body trembled slightly. What had happened in the past? The sovereign's clan had existed before the creation of the world. Nuwa, Pangu, and the others had all been friends with the first generation of the sovereign's clan. Over the years, There had been very few members of the sovereign's clan. From the creation of the world until now, there had been less than 10 of them. Which ancestor had suffered such a calamity that his blood had spilled on the heaven-shaking stone tablet? Swish! In the distance, there was a flash of light. The evil corpse appeared again. He smiled viciously at Lin Feng and Hua Yihan, his eyes flashing with killing intent. He's chasing us again. Hua Yihan's face paled. Lin Feng gave Hua Yihan a storage ring and said, "There are many teleportation talismans in there. Leave for now. I have a way to deal with him." Hua Yihan bit her lip, but she didn't leave. Lin Feng crushed a teleportation talisman and teleported her somewhere else. "You're sending someone away and staying behind? Do you think you can stay behind and fight me?" The evil corpse's eyes flashed with killing intent. He didn't attack immediately. Instead, he walked towards Lin Feng. An evil aura filled the air. It was as if this place had turned into a living hell. "Who are you? What era are you from?" Lin Feng looked at the evil corpse indifferently. "Ha ha ha ha. I am the heavenly Tao, high and mighty. I control everything in this world, including the lives and deaths of countless living things," said the evil corpse proudly. "Heavenly Tao? Who are you trying to fool?" Lin Feng sneered. "Your life is in my hands, yet you dare to question me? Do you know the consequences of questioning me?" The evil corpse said coldly. Lin Feng sneered. "Since I'm going to die anyway, I'd rather take a gamble. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to win." Lin Feng arrived in front of the stone stele and circulated his sovereign emperor blood. At that moment, Lin Feng felt a strong connection between his sovereign emperor blood and the dried sovereign emperor blood on the stone stele. Suddenly, the sovereign emperor blood on the heaven-shaking stone stele, which had only dried up, began to change. In the blink of an eye, the dried sovereign emperor blood turned red. It turned into a pool of sovereign emperor's blood, covering half of the stone stele. It was as if they had returned to ancient times. It was the scene of the sovereign emperor blood splattering all over the stone stele. "What's going on? I've already devoured the Taiyuan Palace Lord's blood. Why is it appearing now?" The evil corpse was flabbergasted and frowned. "Taiyuan Palace Lord? Is that the master of the Taiyuan Palace? This isn't his blood." Lin Feng said. "It's not his blood? Humph. The Taiyuan Palace Lord is one of the 9 sovereigns of the celestial realm. He's a supreme existence, and his blood is the most powerful blood. This blood isn't even worth mentioning." The evil corpse sneered. From the evil corpse's words, Lin Feng had a certain understanding of the ancient cosmic city. It was most likely an ancient city from the celestial realm of the 3 realms. The Taiyuan Palace Lord's identity wasn't simple, but so what? He was nothing compared to the sovereign emperor ancestor. He was nothing. "You're really arrogant. Are you on the same level as the Taiyuan Palace Lord? Do you think you're high and mighty and can look down on the other worlds? What a joke." Lin Feng said indifferently. "An ant dares to spout nonsense in front of me? Do you know what the 3 realms, 6 paths, 10,000 worlds, and other world are like? I was a supreme sovereign back then." The evil corpse said coldly. "That's because you don't know who the owner of the blood on the stone stele is. In front of him, you're nothing," said Lin Feng coldly. He grabbed the edge of the stone tablet with both hands and shouted loudly. Then, he suddenly put some strength into his hands. Rumble. Lin Feng shook the stone stele. Lin Feng wanted to lift it up and kill the evil corpse. Chapter 1521. Brat, you want to lift the heaven-shaking stele? Who do you think you are? Is the heaven-shaking stele something you can lift just because you want to? The corpse looked at Lin Yun with disdain. He didn't attack immediately. Instead, he looked at Lin Feng with disdain and ridicule. In the corpse's eyes, Lin Feng was overestimating himself. "Ancestor, my blood will never die. My battle intent will never die. I hope I can inherit your martial prowess. Give me a chance. Fight to the death. Even if I die 100 times, I won't regret it," Lin Feng shouted. At that moment, the sovereign emperor's blood in his body vibrated with terrifying fluctuations. Lin Feng's sovereign emperor's blood and the sovereign emperor's blood on the heaven-shaking stele were becoming closer and closer. Finally, The Sovereign Emperor's blood on the heaven-shaking steel emitted a powerful energy that entered Lin Feng's body. At that moment, Lin Feng could feel the power in his body increasing crazily. Ah! Lin Feng roared. The heaven-shaking steel was gradually lifted up by him. How is this possible? The corpse looked at Lin Feng in disbelief. It's really my heaven-shaking steel. It belongs to me alone. Whoever touches it, I'll make sure they die without a grave. The corpse roared furiously, his eyes filled with boundless killing intent. Boom! The corpse charged at Lin Feng with boundless killing intent. Sharp claws. Then, he slapped at Lin Feng. The void was collapsing. The corpse wanted to bury Lin Feng in the shattered space-time. I came here with the heaven-shaking steel. I'm destined to suppress all living things. Lin Feng was carrying the gigantic stone in his hand and moving forwards with great difficulty. The shattered space-time couldn't harm him at all. Lin Feng used the heaven-shaking steel to suppress the corpse. Asterisk bang. Asterisk along with the sound of a violent collision, there was a loud noise. The corpse was sent flying by the heaven-shaking steel. Wah! The corpse spat out a mouthful of blood. The heaven-shaking steel was simply too powerful. It possessed the power to destroy the heavens and the earth, shattering the heavens and the earth, collapsing the universe. Even someone as powerful as the evil corpse was sent flying, unable to resist. You want to use my treasure against me? You deserve to die. The evil corpse angrily roared. Yours? If it's yours, why can't you summon it back? Lin Feng's expression was cold. He continued to carry the heaven-shaking steel and charged towards the evil corpse. I'll cut you into 1,000 pieces. The evil corpse's voice contained deep resentment. To be hurt by an ant like Lin Feng, the evil corpse was unable to accept this. As far as the evil corpse was concerned, this was a stain in his life. The evil corpse only had one thought, and that was to ruthlessly torture Lin Feng and let Lin Feng die in pain. Bang! Both sides clashed once again. Lin Feng used the heaven-shaking steel to kill the evil corpse. This was his only way to deal with the evil corpse. The evil corpses were very powerful and terrifying, but in the end, they were unable to contend against the heaven-shaking steel. Because the heaven-shaking steel was too strange, it hid too many secrets. Crack! Crack! This time, after the evil corpse was sent flying, its body began to crack. Just how powerful was the corpse's physical bodies? It was actually unable to resist the suppression of the heaven-shaking steel. Lin Feng finally saw the hope of killing the evil corpse. He took the initiative to attack the evil corpse. The evil corpse wanted to dodge, but the heaven-shaking steel's aura had locked onto him. The evil corpse had no way to dodge. He had no choice but to face the terrifying and demonic heaven-shaking steel. Bang! The evil corpse was sent flying by the heaven-shaking steel for the third time. This time, the evil corpse suffered an even more serious injury. Half of its body exploded, and pitch-black blood flowed out. The evil corpse's blood emitted a fishy smell that made people feel nauseous. Ah! The evil corpse roared towards the sky, his eyes flashing with endless killing intent. He was completely enraged, his anger overflowing to the heavens. The evil corpse's body burned fiercely. He was burning his evil source. To increase his combat strength, the evil corpse wanted to fight with Lin Feng to the death. The evil corpse had probably already seen that Lin Feng had already controlled the heaven-shaking steel. Although the evil corpse didn't know, Lin Feng, such a weak ant, how could he control the heaven-shaking steel? But the evil corpse had some guesses in his heart. He guessed. Could it be related to the blood on the heaven-shaking steel? But whether or not it was because of this reason, Lin Feng had already controlled the heaven-shaking steel. This was an indisputable fact. Only those who had walked through that era knew how terrifying the heaven-shaking steel was. The evil corpse attacked for the fourth time. The evil corpse that was burning his evil source was crazily increasing his combat strength. When he collided with the heaven-shaking steel for the fourth time, the evil corpse was only pushed back, but he wasn't injured again. As the evil source continued to burn, the evil corpse's combat strength also soared. When the evil corpse attacked for the fifth time, he was already able to withstand the heaven-shaking steel's attack. Ha 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 ha, brat. So what if you control the heaven-shaking steel? How can an ant like you unleash the power of the heaven-shaking steel? The evil corpse laughed. The sixth time, he slapped the heaven-shaking steel with one palm, while the other palm slapped towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng took out the death god armor. The evil corpse's attack landed on Lin Feng's body. Crack, crack. Even with the death god armor's defense, Lin Feng's bones were broken. Puff. Lin Feng spat out a mouthful of blood, his face as pale as paper. His body staggered backward, almost unable to withstand the heaven-shaking stone tablet. It was already very difficult to carry the heaven-shaking steel, not to mention that he had suffered such serious injuries. You can't hold on any longer? A lowly ant wants to contend against fate? What a joke. The evil corpse's voice was cold as he attacked for the seventh time. He sent out another palm strike towards Lin Feng. This palm strike, it was even more powerful. Just as this palm was about to envelop him, Lin Feng felt the aura of death that he had never felt before. It enveloped his entire body. At that moment, he felt it. It was as if his life no longer belonged to him. At the moment when the attack was about to hit Lin Feng, Lin Feng's expression changed. Suddenly, a figure rushed out from the void. Hua Yihan stood in front of Lin Feng. Bang! The evil corpse's attack landed on Hua Yihan's body. Hua Yihan spat out a mouthful of blood. Her body was like a kite with a broken string. She flew backwards. With a plop, Hua Yihan fell to the ground, motionless. At that moment, Lin Feng was completely stunned. Even the evil corpse was stunned. The evil corpse sneered and said, "Sacrificing yourself for others, you lunatic." "Ah, I want your life." Lin Feng roared. The sovereign emperor's blood in his body began to spin rapidly, and a powerful sovereign's power surged into Lin Feng's body. The heaven-shaking steel smashed towards the evil corpse's head. The evil corpse's expression changed greatly as he quickly retreated, but it was already too late. Bang! The heaven-shaking steel smashed into the evil corpse's head. The evil corpse's head instantly exploded into pieces. The headless corpse fell to the ground. Lin Feng threw away the heaven-shaking steel and rushed towards Hua Yihan. The beauty had passed away, leaving Lin Feng alone to grieve. Chapter 1522. The first time I saw you, you were so feisty, but you were so stunning. The second time I saw you, I started to like your fiery personality. It was hard to imagine that you would come to my place in the middle of the night to beat up Du Zhu. The third time I saw you, I couldn't help but tease you when I saw how angry you were. The fourth time I saw you, you were the one who woke me up. Did you know? I was cursed by the Celestial Master sect. If you hadn't pulled me back, I might have died. Only when I got along with you did I realize how cute you are. I never thought that there would be a day when you would fall by my side, and I couldn't do anything. Lin Feng shed tears. This was the woman who had died to save him. You once told me that I didn't hate you. On the contrary, I liked you a little. Just a little. Would you give up your life for me? Lin Feng hugged Hua Yihan's body, which was gradually turning cold. Since ancient times, love had been left behind. It was easy to wake up from a good dream. It was difficult to free oneself from the plucking of flowers. Pitifully, the flying catkins were too drifting. The fragrant nest was suddenly formed in a Mandarin Ducks Association. A new sentence was written on a jade screen. If it wasn't for parting, her intestines would have been broken. Her old clothes would have been stained with tears. Whispered Lin Feng. He felt like his heart was about to break. This was a woman who was willing to give up her life for him. But now, this beautiful woman had passed away. Everything from the past was still vivid in his mind. It was hard to forget. Yes, I still have the 3 lives, 3 worlds coffin. Lin Feng thought of the coffin. The Demon Lord had once told Lin Feng about the 3 lives, 3 worlds coffin and its tragic story. The 3 lives, 3 worlds coffin. Rumor has it that it was made of reincarnation wood to preserve corpses. After 3 lives and 3 worlds, the dead will come back to life. This indeed sounded inconceivable. Even Lin Feng was just listening to the story as if it were a beautiful story. But now, Lin Feng really hoped. The rumor was true. After 3 lives and 3 worlds, she would wake up. Lin Feng took out the 3 lives 3 worlds coffin and put Hua Yihan inside. Maybe the best way is to bury her in the place where the dragon veins gather. Lin Feng gently stroked Hua Yihan's face. If the rumor is true, I will try my best to survive. After 3 lives and 3 worlds, I will come looking for you, said Lin Feng. He took out a jade pendant. This was the only thing of Lin Feng's life. His name was written on the back of the jade pendant. This is a jade pendant my mother gave me. With it by your side, I hope you won't feel lonely. Lin Feng lowered his head and kissed Yihan's forehead. Then, he closed the coffin of 3 lives, 3 worlds. At the place where the 9 dragon veins converged, Lin Feng buried the 3 lives coffin there. He set up a stone tablet. The tomb of my beloved wife, Hua Yihan, was written on it. It was an unforgettable pain. Lin Feng stood in front of the lonely grave for 3 days and 3 nights. Then, the stone tablet soared into the sky. Is the heaven-shaking steel leaving? Lin Feng murmured to himself. He was sad as he chased after it. The stone tablet soared into the sky. It shattered the small world. Then, it flew away. Lin Feng was shocked. Then, he followed the stone tablet and flew away. He returned to the ancient city in the starry sky. The great Yuan Dao Palace wasn't far away. The stone tablet had disappeared without a trace. Lin Feng walked alone in the ancient city and arrived in front of the statue of Goddess Nuwa. Goddess Nuwa, I hope you can protect her. After 3 lives and 3 worlds, she can come back to life. Lin Feng kowtowed to the statue of Goddess Nuwa. Boy, it's you. A cold shout came from the distance, accompanied by dense killing intent. Lin Feng looked over. It was the 3-eyed Golden Lion clan. There was the Little Lion King, Xian Daoyuan, and a dozen other cultivators. The strongest of them were 2 old men. They should be Divine Flame Realm cultivators. The 3-eyed Golden Lion tribe's strength was enormous. What's the matter? Lin Feng stood up and said coldly. The Little Lion King sneered. You dare ask me what the matter is? Boy, kneel down and end your life. That way, you can die a quick death. If you make us do it, you'll die miserably. The noise attracted some cultivators in the surroundings. Many people gathered in the square and looked at the 2 sides in shock. They didn't know Lin Feng, but they knew the 3-eyed Golden Lion clan's experts. When they saw that Lin Feng was alone and surrounded by the 3-eyed Golden Lion clan's experts, they all felt that Lin Feng was about to suffer a calamity. A few female cultivators walked over from the distance. They were Hua Yihan's fellow disciples. The female cultivator wearing a gauze dress with her face covered was among them. When she saw Lin Feng, she was slightly surprised. Senior sister, isn't that the boy? Asked one of the female cultivators. The woman nodded and didn't say anything. I'm in a bad mood. Get lost. Otherwise, I'll take your lives. Lin Feng glanced coldly at the Little Lion King, then at the other 3-eyed Golden Lions. Many people were stunned. Wasn't this boy too arrogant? He was surrounded by so many experts of the 3-eyed Golden Lion clan, and he still dared to be so arrogant? This completely overturned everyone's understanding of the word arrogant. I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. The Little Lion King laughed savagely. Come with me and kill him, said Xian Daoyuan coldly. Said Xian Daoyuan, smiling icily. A dozen strong cultivators from the 3-eyed Golden Lion clan surrounded Lin Feng. The 2 Divine Fire Realm experts didn't attack. They just watched coldly. In their opinion, killing Lin Feng wasn't a big deal. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Feng's voice was cold. He directly took out his forbidden weapon, the Purple Lightning Hammer. After that, Lin Feng activated his Purple Lightning Hammer. Boom! The Purple Lightning Hammer emitted a terrifying aura. Purple lightning coiled around Lin Feng. Lin Feng swung the Purple Lightning Hammer and smashed it at the Little Lion King. The Purple Lightning Hammer was too terrifying. Millions of lightning bolts rained down. No! The Little Lion King felt the terror of the Purple Lightning Hammer and cried out in fear. Bang! In the next moment, the Little Lion King was killed by Lin Feng's Purple Lightning Hammer. Next, Lin Feng attacked Xian Daoyuan and the others. Hammer after hammer smashed over. Xian Daoyuan and the others couldn't resist the Purple Lightning Hammer's attack. Bang, bang, bang. Their bodies were destroyed. Their souls were destroyed. Run. The two divine fire realm experts' expressions changed. The purple lightning hammer's power was too terrifying. It made their hearts tremble. We can't escape, Lin Feng shouted coldly. He rushed forward with the purple lightning hammer and smashed it down 36 times. Bang! Bang! The two divine fire realm experts of the three-eyed golden lion clan couldn't win. They were smashed into meat paste by Lin Feng's purple lightning hammer. Author's note: Hua Yihan won't die. She'll wake up in the three lives, three worlds coffin. This is a trap at the end of the story. Chapter 1523. They're all dead? Isn't that too awesome? Even the two divine flame realm experts from the three-eyed golden lion clan were killed. No wonder they're so arrogant. If I had that kind of battle prowess, I wouldn't have put the three-eyed golden lion clan in my eyes either. The three-eyed golden lion clan is usually high and mighty. They can kill people with a single thought. Now that they've kicked an iron plate, they really deserve it. Many people started whispering to each other and discussing spiritedly. Everybody was looking at Lin Feng. They were astonished. They couldn't believe their eyes. Lin Feng put away the purple lightning hammer, then took the spatial rings of the three-eyed golden lion clan members. He walked off into the distance. Everyone made way for Lin Feng. Respect for the strong was a principle that had never changed since ancient times. Lin Feng saw Hua Yihan's fellow disciples. He was slightly surprised, but then he walked over. "Senior sister, that guy is coming. He seems to be coming for us." A few female cultivators whispered. The leader of the group, a veiled woman, nodded. When Lin Feng walked over, she bowed slightly to Lin Feng. "Huihan, I wonder if she still has any family?" Lin Feng asked. He really couldn't bring himself to say that Hua Yihan had died. Lin Feng had placed his hopes on the three lives, three worlds coffin. One day, Hua Yihan would come back to life. The female cultivators naturally understood what Lin Feng was trying to say. When they heard the bad news, they all started sobbing. With Hua Yihan's impetuous personality, she was very popular among her fellow apprentice and junior apprentice sisters. The masked woman said, "Junior sister Hua is very pitiful. She was picked up by an elder in the sect after the rain. It seems like she was an abandoned child. When she was young, her body would often become as hot as a fireball. There were many times when she was almost burned to death by the high temperature. Time and time again, she narrowly escaped death. Later, the elder who picked her up decided to go into the 9 profound glacial ice abyss to find the 9 profound glacial jade in order to help junior sister Hua suppress the fire energy in her body. That elder brought back the 9 profound glacial jade, but because he was injured in a battle with the ferocious beasts protecting the jade, he died not long after he came back. Junior sister Hua was only 13 years old that year. Even when she was half dead, she never cried. She was very strong. But when that elder's death, she cried. She was abandoned as a child. Junior sister Hua was her only family. The masked woman didn't continue speaking, and her eyes turned slightly red. Hua Yihan was very pure Hua Yihan. After interacting with her, Lin Feng realized how pure and cute she was. Hua Yihan cherished her relationship with her fellow disciples. Perhaps it was because she had been abandoned as a child. The female cultivator from the Celestial Maiden sect who had adopted her had died a tragic death. She had become an orphan again. This made Hua Yihan cherish her hard-won relationship even more, regardless of whether it was her fellow disciples. Maybe it was because of her feelings for Lin Feng. Lin Feng bid farewell to Hua Yihan's fellow disciples, and walked deeper into the ancient city. Now, his heart was filled with pain. The more he understood Hua Yihan, the more he understood her, the more his heart ached for her. When night fell, the ancient city was still very restless. The passage to the underworld would open, and the creatures of the underworld would appear. Many people would choose to hide at this time. However, some unlucky people would be discovered by the creatures of the underworld. Then, they would have no choice but to fight with the creatures of the underworld. Some people would die tragically, while others would successfully escape. Lin Feng saw many creatures of the underworld, such as soldiers, black-robed monsters, and so on. They were all heading in one direction. He was very puzzled. He didn't know where these creatures of the underworld were going. Lin Feng carefully followed behind and walked deeper into the ancient city. In the end, he saw those terrifying beings of the underworld enter an ancient mansion. It was a mansion shrouded in darkness. In the rolling black fog, there were densely intertwined runes. This place was completely sealed. The surrounding space-time was distorted. Outsiders couldn't enter at all. What is this place? Lin Feng was puzzled. He was very puzzled. He wanted to sneak in, but he was discovered by the creatures of the underworld. Hundreds of creatures of the underworld chased after Lin Feng. F***CK. Just don't let me leave. Why are you chasing me? Lin Feng shouted gloomily and quickly ran into the distance. The creatures of the underworld chased after him relentlessly. Lin Feng found it very difficult to shake off those terrifying creatures of the underworld. Come here quickly. The door to a courtyard was opened. Lin Feng saw Du Zhu. He quickly rushed in, and Du Zhu quickly closed the door. There were many people gathered in the courtyard. Lin Feng saw the old monk and the Taoist priest. It seemed that the old monk and the Taoist priest had deceived the creatures of the underworld so that they didn't discover them. Lin Feng cupped his fists towards the crowd, then looked at Du Zhu and said, "What happened back then? How did you disappear without a trace?" Then, a guy who pretended to be you appeared beside me and launched a sneak attack on me. It's an illusion demon. There are terrifying illusion demons here. They are a type of creature from the underworld that can transform into anyone they want. As long as they don't speak, no one will be able to discover their flaws. The poison ancestor said. Then, Du Zhu talked about how he and Lin Feng got separated. At that time, I didn't know what was going on. I was grabbed by an invisible force and was swallowed by endless darkness. I struggled with all my might and went through untold hardships before I managed to escape. It's so strange. What is it that's swallowing you? Do you feel anything? Lin Feng frowned and asked. The longer he stayed in the ancient city, the more he could feel the strangeness of it. Du Zhu said, "It's this ancient city." Lin Feng had seen the ancient city swallow the corpses of cultivators many times. However, Lin Feng didn't expect the ancient city to be able to swallow living cultivators. It was extremely strange. Lin Feng said with a serious expression, "This ancient city is indeed filled with evil. I just saw many creatures of the underworld enter a mansion shrouded in darkness." Du Zhu said, "I know that mansion. We want to take a look before." Ba, good indeed. At that moment, the old monk with the 10 rays of Buddhist light behind his head put his palms together and said, "This ancient city has a great history. There's probably a terrifying existence trapped in that courtyard. When the ancient city opened, it let us in, and then it closed again. Those of us who entered the ancient city were sacrificed." Hearing the old monk's words, Lin Feng's expression became unprecedentedly serious. He said, "Holy monk, are you saying that we were sacrificed to the mysterious existence in that courtyard?" Chapter 1524. The old monk said, Ba, it's just as you said. That's a possibility." Du Zhu said, "More than half of the cultivators who entered the ancient city are dead now. The dead cultivators have been devoured by the ancient city. Perhaps they've become sacrificial offerings and become the power of the sacrificial offerings." Lin Feng was bewildered. Does that mean that the mysterious existence in the courtyard has something to do with the underworld? I heard that the underworld has its own rules, while the human world has its own order. The beings of the underworld shouldn't interfere with the affairs of the human world. Even the Een soldiers only appear at night, in dangerous places. They don't interfere with the affairs of the human world. Don't you think it's strange that the beings of the underworld have entered the ancient city and killed so many cultivators? They've openly violated the laws of the underworld and the human world. A Taoist priest called Yun Tsang said, "What this benefactor said makes sense. This humble Taoist has been thinking about this problem for a long time, and it seems that it's indeed very strange." Du Zhu said, "I've thought of a possibility." Oh? Everyone looked at Du Zhu. The existence in the courtyard might not have anything to do with the underworld, but it might have formed some kind of agreement with the beings of the underworld. Duzu said. After a pause, Duzu continued, if the beings of the outside world are cooperating with the beings of the underworld, it wouldn't be considered a violation of the rules of the underworld and the human world. Then what kind of existence is cooperating with the beings of the underworld? Lin Feng was puzzled. This was a question that he couldn't figure out for the time being. Lin Feng and the others could only continue to wait. After 1,000,000 years of imprisonment, I can finally come out and walk around again. On this day, a deep voice reverberated throughout the entire ancient city. At this moment, all the cultivators in the ancient city were alarmed. In the deepest part of the courtyard, which was shrouded in black fog, there were sounds of footsteps. Then, a series of footsteps could be heard. Following that, a terrifying being walked out of the courtyard. It was a ferocious being with a human body, a flood dragon's tail, and a crocodile's head. Its body emitted an extremely evil aura. This living being was simply too terrifying. Even the space around him was distorting. It was hard to imagine what level of cultivation this living being had. The air outside is still the best. The living being took a deep breath. After this living being came out, a second living being came out. The second being was a terrifying being that looked very similar to a giant spider. However, this being had 9 heads on its abdomen. The 9 heads were all human heads. Next, a third being, the fourth living being, the fifth living being. More and more creatures walked out. A total of 17 creatures walked out. Each of these creatures was more powerful than the last. When they stood together, the world was about to collapse. We're free. We're free again. These creatures let out excited roars. The hunt has begun. A creature spoke, taking the lead to rush out. Soon, the massacre began. These 17 beings were so powerful that they made the world tremble. It was hard to imagine what kind of cultivation they had. In the ancient city, there was no place they couldn't go. Many cultivators who were hiding in the old mansions were found by these terrifying creatures. Then, these cultivators were killed. Their flesh, blood, and essence were all devoured by these terrifying beings. The courtyard where Lin Feng and the others were hiding was also visited. This being's body was like a werewolf's. Its head was incomparably huge, and it had a very long mouth with 2 rows of sharp spikes in it. Its eyes bulged, and it was ferocious and ugly. This monster had 4 arms. 2 of its arms were sharp claws. The third and fourth arms were like the claws of a praying mantis, and they were shaped like a huge blade. This being also had a huge pitch-black tail. The tail was like a scorpion's, and there was a sharp spike at the end of the tail. The spike flickered with a blue luster. It was obviously poisonous. A foreign god. When he saw the being in the courtyard, Lin Feng's face turned pale with shock. Back on the ancient evildoer, Lin Feng had seen a foreign god. These foreign gods were unimaginably powerful. They were simply undefeatable existences. Lin Feng would probably never forget this evil aura for the rest of his life. What? Is this a foreign god? Do foreign gods really exist in this world? Many people cried out in alarm. In the starry sky world, there were still some legends of foreign gods, but they were just legends. No one had ever seen a foreign cultivator. Since they had never seen one, it was naturally very difficult for them to believe that the mysterious foreign really existed in this world. However, Lin Feng and Du Zhu had seen foreign cultivators before. It was precisely because they had seen them that they knew how terrifying the foreign gods were. There are still people who can recognize us foreign gods. It's truly inconceivable. Countless years have passed, and we even thought that everything about the foreign world had been drowned out by history. The foreign god let out a sinister cry. Everyone, let's kill him together. If we can't kill him, we'll die. Lin Feng gritted his teeth and brought out the 9 demons painting. There were about 100 people in the courtyard, and they were all experts. This was especially true for the Buddhist monks and Taoist priests. Their methods were even more extraordinary. Therefore, Lin Feng's side was also abnormally powerful. Attack? No one hesitated and charged at the foreign god. By now, everyone had basically figured out what was going on. These foreign gods were trapped in the ancient city. They could only come out once every 1,000,000 years. And this time, it was time for them to come out and hunt. At this time, everyone would become the foreign god's prey. Either they killed the foreign gods, or they were killed by the foreign gods. At this point, there were no other possibilities. A bunch of lowly ants want to fight against a foreign god? You really overestimate yourselves. The foreign god in front of them had the same personality as the foreign god Linfeng had seen before. It was incomparably arrogant and looked down on the cultivators of the 3,000 great worlds. The foreign god rushed into the crowd, its huge scorpion tail flying out as fast as lightning. Pooh! The sound of tearing could be heard. Immediately, 5 or 6 cultivators' chests were pierced by the foreign god's huge scorpion tail. They died extremely miserably. Chapter 1525. The foreign god was abnormally tyrannical. He took the initiative to charge into the crowd and start a massacre. Clearly, he did not put all the cultivators in the courtyard in his eyes. In the eyes of the foreign god, killing Linfeng and the others was too easy. Everything seemed to be as the foreign god had expected. When he charged into the crowd, he instantly erupted with tyrannical battle strength. In the time it took for a spark to fly off a piece of flint, he killed several powerful cultivators. Boom, boom, boom. At this time, the attacks of Linfeng and the others had already landed on the foreign god's body. With so many people attacking, the lethality of the attacks was naturally incomparably strong. However, what Linfeng did not expect was, when their attacks landed on the foreign god's body, runes actually appeared on the surface of the foreign god's body. Those runes actually dissolved everyone's attacks. Magic immunity. After seeing those runes, Linfeng's expression suddenly changed. This was an abnormally terrifying sacred art. It evolved into mysterious runes that could dissolve all kinds of sacred art attacks. Puff, puff. After the foreign god blocked the attacks of Linfeng and the others, he then launched an even more tyrannical attack. The scorpion tail stabbed out again and again, stabbing cultivators to death one after another. Meanwhile, the foreign god's 2 sharp claws and 2 other blade-like arms began to swing. Cultivators were killed one after another. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 cultivators had been killed by the foreign god. The foreign god's combat strength was too strong, causing everyone to tremble in fear. "Kill him at close range," Linfeng shouted in a deep voice. He put away the 9-demon picture and took out the Great Desolate War Spear. With the Great Desolate War Spear in hand, he charged towards the foreign god. The foreign god who had grasped magic immunity was difficult to use sacred art to fight against, because any sacred art would be dissolved by the foreign god. Therefore, if they wanted to deal with the foreign god, they would have to fight in close combat. Only in close combat, the best way was to use a powerful weapon to tear his body apart. Many people were like Linfeng and charged towards the foreign god with all kinds of weapons. Clang, 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 clang. But when everyone's weapons landed on the foreign god's body, a terrifying scene appeared. Everyone's attacks. They simply couldn't break through the defenses of the foreign gods. This foreign god's defense was so strong that it bordered on freakish. Retreat. After his attack failed, Linfeng's expression changed greatly, and he couldn't help but shout loudly. Everyone retreated. However, the cultivators who retreated a little slower were all killed. No one could withstand the attacks of the foreign gods. This was simply a one-sided massacre. "You ants. Even if I only use my physical strength, I can still kill you." The foreign realm god's voice was ice-cold. He turned into an afterimage, his speed fast to the point where no one could react in time. Cultivators were killed by the foreign realm deity one after another. This was a terrifying scene. People continued to die. As for the rest, they could only wait for death. Originally, there were more than 100 people in the courtyard, but it didn't take long for only 30 to 40 people to survive. "Only fresh blood can excite me." The foreign deities laughed sinisterly, once again pressing over. "Umidba, good indeed." The holy monk with 10 halos behind his head stepped out. Boundless Buddha light. The holy monk attacked the foreign realm god. Boundless Buddha light lingered. Then, an endless amount of Buddha's light surged out from the void. That dazzling Buddha light swept towards the foreign realm god. "Old bald donkey, your cultivation isn't bad, but compared to me, you're still far from it. Unless your emperor comes, who else can suppress me? The foreign realm god's voice was cold. He opened his mouth, and endless demonic chi swept towards the holy monk's attack. The foreign realm god was very arrogant. Even a peerless expert like the holy monk wasn't worthy of his attention. The emperor he spoke of was actually a great emperor. Only a great emperor could suppress him. Was this foreign god in front of him a quasi-emperor? Lin Feng was shocked. If he was a great emperor, then that was too terrifying. Even the holy monk couldn't possibly be a match for the foreign realm god. Bang! At that moment, the foreign realm god's attack collided with the holy monk's attack. As expected, the holy monk's attack was broken by the foreign realm god's attack. The holy monk was forced back by the foreign realm god. Hurry up and leave, the holy monk shouted. He raised his right hand and used the 10,000 Buddha's greeting, attacking the foreign realm god. This attack could be said to be apocalyptic. However, it was such a terrifying attack. Yet, it couldn't cause any damage to the foreign realm god. The foreign realm god's magic immunity could easily dissolve the holy monk's attack. This made him invincible. The foreign realm god rushed forward and blocked the holy monk's attack with his magic immunity. At the same time, he spat out a ball of black energy. That ball of black energy instantly exploded, and the holy monk was instantly sent flying. With a cry, he spat out a mouthful of blood. The foreign realm god leaped up and charged towards the holy monk, wanting to kill him. Senior brother. Immediately, several monks glared at the foreign realm god and charged towards him. Their attacks landed on the foreign realm god, but they couldn't cause any damage to him. Meanwhile, the foreign realm god instantly beheaded the monks. Don't come over. You're just going to die. What are you waiting for? Hurry up and leave. The holy monk shouted at the others. There were 6 or 7 monks left. Their eyes were filled with tears. Go. Several monks shouted. Then, they rushed out. The other cultivators also rushed out of the mansion. Lin Feng turned around and glanced at the holy monk. He couldn't help but feel admiration. The holy monk's sacrifice was admirable. But soon, Lin Feng felt very sad. So what if he escaped from the courtyard? He was still in the ancient city, and this place had long become the hunting ground of the foreign realm gods. Early death, late death. The final outcome was the same, right? However, even if there was a glimmer of hope, Lin Feng knew that he couldn't give up. He retracted his gaze and escaped with everyone. In the mansion, amidst the boundless Buddhist light, an ancient Buddha appeared. The holy monk stalled the foreign realm god. But not long after, the Buddhist light dissipated. Senior brother has passed away. Tears fell from the eyes of the monks. They came out of the Buddhist realm together and walked in the starry sky world. Their feelings were deep, but now, facing the holy monk's death, they were powerless. You can't escape. In the distance, the foreign realm god's cold voice came. Lin Feng and the others looked over and saw that the foreign realm god was chasing after them. F***CK. A dragon in shallow waters will be toyed with by shrimps, and a tiger in the plains will be bullied by dogs. If this was in the past, I wouldn't be afraid of this bastard at all. Duzu shouted in exasperation. But that was in the past. Now, Duzu's cultivation base had fallen. Faced with the foreign realm god's pursuit, Duzu could only obediently run away. There's a cultivator here. On the left side of the street, a foreign realm god walked over. Boom. On the right side of the street, there was a terrifying fluctuation. On this street, another foreign realm god also walked over. Lin Feng and the others were pale. They rushed forward, but on the street ahead, another foreign realm god walked towards them. For foreign deities surrounded them. This type of scene simply left them in despair. But what was shocking was that this foreign god actually didn't die from the collision. His defense was so strong that it was a little abnormal. His body flew out and crashed through several houses before finally coming to a stop. In the end, he was buried in the ruins of a 2-story building. This foreign god roared furiously. He rushed out from the ruins, his eyes flashing with endless killing intent. This foreign deity really wanted to go crazy. In his eyes, Lin Feng and the others were like ants. But now, he was sent flying by an ant. To him, this was simply an unacceptable humiliation. You can't escape. The foreign god roared furiously and quickly chased after them. The other 3 foreign gods also chased after them. The 4 vicious cauldrons flew at high speed, and the 4 foreign gods chased after them. In the end, Lin Feng and the others fled to the plaza where Goddess Nuwa's statue was. There were still a few cultivators who had been chased by the other foreign gods and had fled to this place in a sorry state. As for the 17 foreign gods, they arrived one after another and completely sealed off the plaza. Lin Feng and the others flew out of the cauldrons. Lin Feng put away the cauldrons, his expression extremely grave. 17 foreign gods. Each one was stronger than the last. Now, 17 foreign deities surrounded this place until not even a drop of water could trickle through. As for Lin Feng's side, there were only about 300 cultivators who had been driven here by the foreign gods. Back then, there had been more than 100,000 cultivators who had entered the ancient city. But now, there were only so few left. Clearly, the other cultivators were all dead. It seemed that it was time for this massacre to come to an end. Many people's faces were deathly pale. Now that they were about to die, they only felt a deep sense of helplessness. They couldn't fight against fate. What a pity. There are too few experts in this starry sky world. The slaughter is about to end, but it doesn't satisfy us. A foreign deity said. These foreign gods only appeared once every million years. Therefore, they were extremely eager to bring in more powerful cultivators for them to kill. This was their only interest in the past million years. There aren't any powerful cultivators, but there is one rather interesting. The foreign god with the body of a human, the tail of a flood dragon, and the head of a crocodile looked at Lin Feng with a sinister gaze. He pointed at Lin Feng and said coldly, "Kid, get the hell out here." Lin Feng pretended not to hear or see anything. "Fuck, I'm talking to you. Get the hell out here." The foreign god was furious, and his killing intent enveloped Lin Feng. Cough, cough. "You're talking to me? Why are you calling me?" Lin Feng realized that he couldn't play dumb, so he stepped forward and asked helplessly, "Kid, was that cauldron yours? Are you disappointed that you didn't kill me?" The foreign god looked coldly at Lin Feng. "Why don't you let me hit you again?" Lin Feng said. The foreign god's mouth twitched violently. The monks, Taoists, and other cultivators all smiled bitterly. At the same time, they admired Lin Feng. Lin Feng actually dared to ridicule the foreign god at a time like this. His courage was truly admirable. Very good. Very good. Since there is someone who doesn't know the difference between life and death, I don't mind killing you. The foreign god's eyes flashed with dense killing intent. He was about to attack Lin Feng. At that moment, a majestic voice rang out between heaven and earth. Have you forgotten? Nuwa, in order to save the world, used her body to mend the heavens? Have you forgotten? Pangu created heaven and earth, using his body to create worlds? Have you forgotten? Gonggong, in order to sever the tunnel, rammed into Mount Bujo? Have you forgotten? Swearin, in order to start a fire, brought hope to humanity. Have you forgotten? Fushi, in order to protect humanity, bathed in blood. Have you forgotten? Shunnong, in order to cure humanity of all diseases, worked his heart out. One voice after another resounded through the clouds. When they heard those voices, everyone felt as if their blood was boiling. These were the greatest existences in history. Nuwa, Pangu, Gonggong, the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors. Even if millions upon millions of eras passed, how could they forget their achievements? Who is it? Get the hell out here. The 17 foreign gods roared furiously. Their roars shook heaven and earth, shattering the void. Chapter 1527. The foreign gods were furious, and they could no longer remain calm. Nuwa, Pangu, Gonggong, Fushi, Demon Lord, and other names made them feel terrified. The foreign worlds were high and mighty, and they wanted to rule over the 3,000 great worlds and even control the 3 highest realms. In the past, many great battles had erupted, and they were all related to the foreign worlds. Many experts had appeared in the three highest realms, Many of them were enough to make the foreign world's cultivators feel fear. Come out. Don't hide. Hurry up and come out. The 17 foreign gods roared furiously. They floated in the air, and their eyes flickered with dense, killing intent. They had the strength to turn the world upside down, and only great emperors could kill them. With 17 of them together, how shocking was their battle prowess! It was as if they could destroy 10,000 worlds, shatter mountains and rivers, and destroy heaven and earth. But now, these 17 existences' emotions were fluctuating violently, and they were clearly alarmed and worried. If you don't come out, then we'll slaughter these lowly creatures, one of the foreign gods said coldly. He raised his right hand, about to kill the cultivators in the plaza. Rumble. At that moment, an earth-shaking sound echoed through the area. The heaven-shaking steel flew over. A steel? A blood-stained steel. What's the origin of this steel? Many people looked at the flying steel in shock. They didn't know the origins of the steel. Lin Feng was shocked. It was actually the heaven-shaking steel. Previously, the heaven-shaking steel had torn apart the small world and then disappeared without a trace. Now, it had reappeared. It's that steel. The foreign gods' voices were cold. These foreign gods clearly knew something about the heaven-shaking steel. Now, they recognized the origin of the heaven-shaking steel. Then, these foreign gods all frowned. The heaven-shaking steel made them think of many things, but soon, these foreign gods sneered. It's just a steel. Can't we subdue it? Some of the foreign gods sneered. They were very confident in themselves. Attack. Subdue this steel. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The 17 foreign gods shouted coldly and attacked at the same time. They leaped up and charged at the heaven-shaking steel, wanting to suppress it. The sky-shaking steel shook the void. Mysterious phantoms appeared one after another. Mother Nuwa, Pango, Gonggong, Fushi, the Fiendlord, all of them were mysterious and unfathomable. Do you remember when the Lord of Gods presided over the heaven-shaking stone steel? He guarded the three realms and fought against the foreign realms alone. The heavens wept blood, and blood flowed in the outer realms. Another majestic voice came from the heaven-shaking stone tablet. This happened after the demon lord sealed the foreign world. The master of the three realms, the leader of the gods, had personally come with the heaven-shaking stone steel. He fought a great battle against the foreign cultivators. The images appeared one after another. The cultivators from the foreign worlds rushed out like a tidal wave. One man, one steel, fought a great battle against the foreign cultivators. In the end, blood was spilled. Blood dyed the ancient stone tablet red. Ancestor. Lin Feng was moved. The blood on the ancient stone tablet was the blood of the ancestors of his mother's clan. The Lord of Gods suppressed the alien cultivators and closed the gates to the outer realm, sealing the alien cultivators inside. But in the end, the Lord of the Gods was too heavily injured and couldn't hold on any longer. He died and fell into the boundless starry sky. In the past, many unknown battles happened. Because the history was too long, many of them had long become legends and couldn't be verified. The images just now were intermittent, and it was difficult to truly restore the events of the past. The 17 foreign gods wanted to suppress the heaven-shaking stone tablet, but they didn't expect that the heaven-shaking stone tablet stained with the blood of the Lord of the Gods would be so strange. The heaven-shaking stone tablet descended from the sky, forming a forbidden space that instantly sealed the magic power of the 17 foreign gods. They fell from the sky. Then, the heaven-shaking stone tablet descended on the square. Damn it! It actually sealed our magic power. The foreign gods had gloomy expressions. Not only were the foreign gods' magic power sealed, but everyone's magic power was sealed as well. At this moment, more than 300 cultivators seemed to have seen hope. They've lost all their magic power. This is the only chance to kill them. Instead of sitting and waiting for death, why don't we fight to the death? A cultivator shouted loudly. That's right, let's fight to the death. Immediately after, another cultivator shouted coldly. At most, we'll be a hero again in 18 years. More and more cultivators responded. Kill. Many people charged at the foreign gods. The foreign gods laughed savagely. You lowly ants, do you think that just because our magic power is sealed, you have the strength to fight against us? These foreign deities stepped forward. Pooh, pooh. The sound of something being torn apart rang out. One cultivator after another died miserably under the attacks of the foreign gods. On the other hand, the foreign gods were completely unharmed under the joint attacks of so many cultivators. The foreign gods' physical bodies were too strong, and they could be considered undying. It was difficult for any attack to injure them. This was practically an invincible position. But the 300 cultivators couldn't stop the foreign gods' attacks. Before long, more than half of them were killed by the foreign gods. I'll fight to the death with you. A cultivator roared, charging at the foreign gods without fear of death. But in the end, he was still killed by the foreign gods. The battle in front of them was too tragic. Cultivators fell one after another. Their deaths could be said to be incomparably miserable. Looking at the fallen cultivators, Lin Feng's heart was filled with sorrow. He looked at the heaven-shaking steel, but he didn't know if he could lift it now that he had lost all his magic power. Lin Feng rushed over. He tried his best to lift the heaven-shaking steel, but he failed. Ancestor, in order to seal the foreign gods, you and your steel alone bathed the outer realm in blood. If you have a spirit, please let me carry the heaven-shaking steel and kill these foreign gods. Lin Feng's voice was tragic. This was a moment of life and death. If they couldn't suppress the foreign gods, no one had a chance of survival. Perhaps he had really sensed the arrival of his descendants. The blood on the heaven-shaking steel emitted waves of shocking fluctuations. Then, it formed a connection with the sovereign emperor blood in Lin Feng's body. Then, the blood on the heaven-shaking steel actually took the initiative to flow into Lin Feng's body. This was the blood of his ancestor. And now, it had actually fused into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng felt as if his body was about to ignite. He never forgot that Nuwa, in order to save the world, used her body to mend the heavens. He never forgot that Gonggong, in order to cut off the foreign passage, rammed into Mount Buzhou in anger. He never forgot that Fuxi fought a bloody battle and dyed the heavens red. He never forgot that in order to seal the foreign world, the demon lord entered and exited 9 times, and in the end, he was buried in the foreign world. He never forgot that in order to suppress the foreign world, the Lord of Gods shed blood in the outer realm, his blood splattering on the heaven-shaking steel. Lin Feng roared as he carried the heaven-shaking steel. With every step he took, the earth seemed to shake. Lin Feng resisted the heaven-shaking steel and arrived in front of a foreign god. He directly smashed the heaven-shaking steel towards the foreign god. Bang! Even someone as powerful as the foreign god couldn't withstand it. His body collapsed and his soul was destroyed. Chapter 1528. You actually lifted the steel? The other gods couldn't believe their eyes. They knew how extraordinary the steel was. How could such a weak cultivator lift such a terrifying steel? But everything in front of them, everything was real. Lin Feng had lifted the ancient steel, and he'd even killed one of their companions. Heavens! Even the otherworldly god was killed. Many people were shocked, but then they were overjoyed. Now, they saw hope for survival. I never forgot Xian Xian's achievements. I never forgot Xian Xian's blood. I never forgot Xian Xian's sacrifice. Xian Xian's sacrifice. Lin Feng roared, lifted the steel, and walked towards the second otherworldly god. Kid, you're courting death, shouted the second otherworldly god coldly. He leapt up, his sharp claws clawing at Lin Feng's chest. He wanted to pierce through Lin Feng's chest. He wanted to end Lin Feng's life. Bang! Lin Feng faced the otherworldly god's attack with the steel, and a muffled sound of collision rang out. The second otherworldly god suffered the same fate as the first otherworldly god. His body crumbled, and his soul was destroyed. Another otherworldly god had fallen. Although the otherworldly gods were extremely powerful, they couldn't withstand the steel's attack. The steel was a natural spirit treasure. It had been born before the creation of the world. A treasure like that was too terrifying. Attack together and kill him. roared one of the otherworldly gods. They wanted to surround and kill Lin Feng. The otherworldly gods all charged over. They could see that they couldn't give Lin Feng any chance. Or else, everyone would die, one by one. 15 otherworldly gods charged over. It's useless. Your fates have been decided long ago, shouted Lin Feng coldly. At that moment, his sovereign emperor's blood began to circulate wildly. Waves of powerful energy surged out. Lin Feng felt as if the heaven-shaking steel was about to become a part of his body. I will follow in the footsteps of my ancestors and suppress you so-called foreign gods. Lin Feng roared, directly smashing the heaven-shaking stone steel towards the 4 foreign realm gods in front of him. Bang, 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 bang. The 4 foreign gods were sent flying. Their bodies exploded in midair, dying on the spot. This is a good chance. The eyes of the other 11 gods suddenly lit up. They attacked Lin Feng. Their attacks were about to hit Lin Feng. But at this time, these foreign deities were attacked by other cultivators. Bang, bang, bang. Sounds of violent collisions could be heard. Du Zhu and the other cultivators took action at the critical moment, sending the 11 foreign gods flying. Although these otherworldly gods weren't injured, they missed the opportunity to kill Lin Feng. Bam! Bam! Lin Feng rushed forward and used the heaven-shaking stone steel to kill another 2 foreign gods. The foreign gods roared at the sky, mad with hatred. There were also 9 foreign gods that rushed towards Lin Feng. Die! Lin Feng carried the heaven-shaking stone steel and rushed towards the foreign gods, killing 3 of them. The other cultivators blocked the other 6 gods of the other regions. They had bought precious time for Lin Feng. With the heaven-shaking stone steel, Lin Feng was almost invincible. Bang, bang, bang. The foreign gods were killed one after another. These foreign deities were being slaughtered until their hearts trembled. Why is it like this? Only a great emperor can kill us, but now, we are actually dying at the hands of a human ant. Some of the foreign gods roared unwillingly. Their strength was so powerful, but now, their powerful strength was useless. Bang, bang, bang. Immediately after, the foreign gods were killed one by Lin Feng carrying the heaven-shaking stone steel. After the 17 foreign gods were killed, Lin Feng couldn't hold on any longer. He put down the heaven-shaking stone steel and sat on the ground, panting violently. Lin Feng felt as if the strength in his body had been completely sucked out. An extreme sense of weakness swept over him. Dead. The foreign gods are all dead? We actually survived. There were still more than 100 cultivators left, and they were incomparably excited. It's great to be able to survive. Many people cried, either out of joy or sadness when they thought of their dead companions. At this moment, the heaven-shaking stone steel soared into the sky. Never forget Shinnong tasting the 100 herbs. Never forget Xuanyuan's 9 heavens of weeping blood. Never forget the blood of the saints spilled in the outer realm. Never forget. Accompanied by the vast and majestic sound, the heaven-shaking stone steel tore through the void and disappeared without a trace. This mysterious supreme treasure. No one could control it. Quick, collect the origin energy that hasn't dissipated yet, a cultivator said. Du Zhu shouted, there's no need to touch the origin energy of the foreign gods. Their methods are strange. Refine their origin energy, and perhaps they'll use your bodies to be reborn. You'll be replaced. This was not an exaggeration. Not only were the foreign gods terrifying, but their methods were also strange. They had to be on guard. Many people were so frightened that their faces turned pale. How could they still dare to collect the origin energy of the foreign gods? Loud rumbling sounds could be heard. Are the city gates about to open? Many people were pleasantly surprised. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Everyone hurriedly rushed outside. Lin Feng stood up and flew outside with Du Zhu. Young master, you look pale. Are you all right? Du Zhu asked worriedly. Lin Feng shook his head and said, I'm fine. I'm just a little weak. The ancient city's gates opened, and Lin Feng and the others rushed out. After that, the ancient city's gates began to close. The ancient starry sky city became empty again. However, a sinister voice suddenly rang out. A descendant of a sovereign emperor's clan. Very good. Very good. This is getting interesting. The voice was indescribably sinister and terrifying. The ancient city flew into the depths of the astral world. It was gradually disappearing. How many powerhouses were buried in this strange ancient city? Would there be another reincarnation cycle after 1,000,000 years? Many people who had just survived the calamity looked at the disappearing starry sky ancient city inside. Lin Feng and the poison ancestor left without making a sound. The ancient ship continued to sail through the astral world. Lin Feng's body grew hotter and hotter. Young master, you're about to turn into a roasted pig. Are you sure you're all right? Du Zhu saw that Lin Feng's body had turned red and was boiling hot. He immediately cried out in alarm. Damn it, you're the pig. Your whole family are pigs. Lin Feng sent Du Zhu flying with a kick. Nothing good could come out of this bastard's mouth. I'm sure you're all right now, young master. Du Zhu crawled up from the ground and couldn't help but mutter. Lin Feng hurriedly returned to his room and sat down cross-legged. He circulated the ancient dragonesque elephant technique and focused on refining the sovereign emperor's blood in his body. This was Lin Feng's ancestor's sovereign emperor's blood. The ancestor who was known as the King of Gods had spilled his blood on the heaven-shaking stone tablet. Now, this sovereign emperor's blood was being passed on to Lin Feng. Chapter 1529. It wasn't easy to refine the ancestor's sovereign blood. However, Lin Feng was still confident. Time passed slowly. The ancient ship flew along the ancient path. After 3 months, Lin Feng finally refined the ancestor's sovereign blood in Lin Feng's body. As the ancestor's sovereign blood was refined, Lin Feng's own sovereign blood also began to awaken. Originally, Lin Feng had only 1 drop of sovereign blood in his body. However, the amount of sovereign blood in his body was increasing. Currently, the immortal god blood occupied about 30% of Lin Feng's blood. Soon, 10% of the sovereign blood had awakened. When 10% of the sovereign blood had awakened, the rate of recovery slowed down. In the end, about 15% of Lin Feng's sovereign blood had awakened. Huff! Lin Feng took a deep breath to calm his excitement. The awakening of the sovereign blood made him very happy. This bloodline was too powerful. Once it was activated, he would be able to unleash unimaginable power. The ancient ship continued to fly. It was a long journey through the universe. For the next half a year, the ancient ship continued to travel through the universe. During this time, they encountered several powerful beasts. Both sides even started to fight. These overlords of the universe were extremely terrifying. Even when Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the God Realm clone worked together, they weren't a match for these overlords. They had no choice but to flee. However, during this half a year of travel, Lin Feng's gains were great. His cultivation base had risen to the peak of the rebirth realm. He was only a step away from breaking through to the God Realm. Du Zhu's cultivation base had recovered to the God Flame realm. The God Realm clone was still at the peak of the Void God Realm. Lin Feng planned to return to the Sky Martial Continent and find a powerful flame for his God Realm clone to ignite and break through to the God Realm. Now that Lin Feng's cultivation had increased greatly, after returning to the Sky Martial Continent, Lin Feng planned to head to the Deathly Danger Zone, the God-Falling Cliff, to refine the 8th-ranked Black Flame God-Burning Flame. He just didn't know if he would succeed this time. After another 3 months, Lin Feng finally saw the Sky Martial Continent. He smiled. After traveling through space for over a year, they were finally about to return to the Sky Martial Continent. Right now, Lin Feng was anxious to return home, because he did not know what was going on in the Sky Martial Continent. When he left, the heavenly demons were at their strongest. At that time, the Sky Martial Continent's situation was not very good. The ancient ship continued flying toward the Martial Heaven Continent. At this moment, rumbling sounds rang out as a huge planet appeared in the distance. Suddenly, a terrifying devouring power gushed out from the planet. The ancient ship quickly flew towards the planet. Damn! Why is this planet so strange? It can even devour passing ancient starships? Du Zhu muttered. Lin Feng frowned slightly. This matter was a bit strange. When the ancient ship approached the planet, Lin Feng and Du Zhu noticed it. How was this a planet? It was a giant starry sky beast. However, This starry sky beast's body was so huge that it was no different from a planet. It's that bastard. When I went to the outer space to train and returned to the Sky Martial continent, a giant starry sky beast attacked the space-time tunnel. Many people died miserably. I was lucky and only suffered injuries to my core. I remember this bastard's aura very clearly. Even if 6 or 7 years have passed and this bastard has turned into ashes, I will still recognize him. Seeing the giant starry sky beast, Lin Feng immediately shouted. Enemies were bound to meet on a narrow road. Damn, what are we waiting for? Let's go and kill him. Du Zhu shouted. Kill that bastard, shouted Lin Feng, summoning his godly clone. Then, he attacked. After that, Du Zhu and his God Realm clone also flew out of the ancient ship. Lin Feng took out the 9 demons painting. The 9 demons painting appeared in the sky. It struck lightly. The void crumbled. The 9 demons painting directly attacked the starry sky beast. Du Zhu took out the corrupt god saber and slashed it at the starry sky beast. The avatar held the great barren war spear and thrust it out. 108,000 spear lights surged and shattered the sky. 108,000 spear lights pierced towards the giant star beast. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and Du Zhu's combined attack was too terrifying. The starry sky beast's body exploded, dripping with blood. Roar. The starry sky beast let out a pained roar. I want you to die, roared the starry sky beast furiously. Then, it opened its bloody mouth and spat out balls of powerful energy that shot toward Lin Feng and the others. The starry sky beast's attack was also very terrifying. Lin Feng and the others did not take the attack head-on. Instead, they quickly dodged. The starry sky beast's body was too big, which was its disadvantage. After dodging the starry sky beast's attack, Lin Feng and the others arrived above it. Then, they attacked the starry sky beast. Bang! The starry sky beast's body exploded again. This time, it suffered more damage than the last time. The starry sky beast roared, but it could not dodge the attacks of Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the God Realm clone. After all, its body was too big. Swoosh! In the end, the starry sky beast turned into a middle-aged man and fled into the depths of the starry sky world. Don't run, Lin Feng shouted. He quickly chased after it with Du Zhu and the God Realm clone. One ran and one chased for a day and a night. The starry sky beast's speed was quite fast, but Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the God Realm clone were not slow either. It could not shake off Lin Feng and the others. Is there a need to chase me like this? You're not even missing a hair. It's better to squash enmity than keep it alive. Why don't we make peace? Shouted the starry sky beast helplessly. Fuck. Now you want to make peace? Do you still remember what happened 6 years ago? You attacked the starry sky tunnel from another planet to the Tianwu continent. I almost died at your hands, shouted Lin Feng. The starry sky beast's face turned green. He finally knew why Lin Feng was so fixated on him. This was a new enmity with an old one. It would be strange if Lin Feng let him go. Brother, that was a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Impulsiveness is the devil. Let's talk calmly about the terms of reconciliation. The middle-aged man transformed from the giant star beast shouted, Fuck, how can you be so shameless? Even I feel ashamed. Poison Ancestor immediately cried out. Lin Feng also rolled his eyes. This starry sky beast's face was as thick as a city wall, said Lin Feng icily. We can reconcile, but if you swear allegiance to me, I'll spare your life, said Lin Feng icily. Chapter 1530. What? You want me to pledge my loyalty to you? You must be dreaming. I'm an overlord of space, a divine flame realm expert. Why would I pledge allegiance to a brat who hasn't even broken through to the god realm? After hearing Lin Feng's words, the giant astral beast roared angrily like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. The giant astral beast was proud. Even though it had been defeated by Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the deity's clone, it was still impossible to make the giant astral beast submit. Pledging allegiance to me is the best choice. I'm giving you a chance, so you should seize it and not waste it. Lin Feng crossed his hands behind his back and looked at the giant astral beast with an indifferent expression. If you want to subdue me, you'll have to show me your strength. If you can defeat me, I'll immediately recognize you as my master. If you can't defeat me, you'll let me go. How about it?" The giant astral beast was indeed cunning. It had probably said so much just to pave the way for this sentence. Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "Sure. Do you think I'm afraid of you?" The giant astral beast was overjoyed and pounced at Lin Feng. "Attack! Let's kill him together." Lin Feng waved his hand and shouted. He, Du Zhu, and the deity's clone attacked the giant astral beast together. The giant astral beast roared, "You didn't keep your word. You said it would be a one-on-one battle, but now you're attacking me together." Lin Feng said, "It's a one-on-one battle, but you're going to fight all of us alone." The giant astral beast felt like vomiting blood when he heard Lin Feng's words. He felt that he was a shameless person. He hadn't expected to meet someone even more shameless than Lin Feng today. Boom! The battle erupted again. Lin Feng used the 9 demons painting to suppress the giant astral beast. The deity's clone wielded the great desolate war spear and swept it at the giant astral beast. Du Zhu took out the heretical god blade, tore through the void, and slashed out. The giant star beast opened its mouth and spat out a powerful treasure. It was a pitch-black demonic sword. The demonic sword was 3 meters long, 30 centimeters wide, and 15 centimeters thick. The blade of the sword had been sharpened to an extreme degree. This giant sword was obviously a power-type supreme treasure. The giant beast of starry sky had a huge body, so its strength was astonishing. Therefore, the combination of this giant sword and the giant beast of starry sky complemented each other and could display the giant beast of starry sky's strongest combat power. Clang, clang, clang. A series of collision sounds were heard. The giant beast of starry sky wielded its giant sword and engaged in a fierce battle with Lin Feng and the other two. After a dozen or so exchanges of blows, the giant beast of starry sky was swept away by Lin Feng's 9 devils diagram. Although the giant beast of starry sky was powerful, it was only one person after all. Now that Du Zhu's cultivation had recovered to the divine fire realm, Du Zhu himself could suppress the giant star beasts. Moreover, with Lin Feng and the godly state clone, the giant star beast of starry sky's defeat was already destined. After the giant star beast of starry sky was sent flying, the 9 devils diagram quickly enlarged and covered the sky, covering the giant star beast of starry sky. Then, the 9 devils diagram descended from the sky like an ancient mountain and suppressed the giant star beast of starry sky. The giant star beast of starry sky swung its giant sword at the 9 devils diagram. Du Zhu and the godly state clone helped to activate the 9 devils diagram. The power of the imperial weapon was revealed. The giant star beast of starry sky could not break free from the 9 devils diagram suppression. Instead, under the suppression of the 9 devils diagram, it could barely move. Lin Feng walked in the void. That great path of purification. Lin Feng began to recite the incantation for the Great Purification Technique. Great Purification Technique. You're going to use the Great Purification Technique to purify me. The starry sky gigantic beast was extremely knowledgeable. When it heard the first chant, it knew what Lin Feng was going to use. It was the Great Purification Technique, an extremely powerful skill. The giant star beast of starry sky knew very well what would happen if the Great Purification Technique was used on him. Himself. He would be purified. Then, he would become Lin Feng's slave. The giant star beast of starry sky shuddered when it thought of this. It was hard to imagine how terrifying it would be to be purified, become a slave, and lose oneself. At that time, it would not be able to commit suicide even if it wanted to. At that time, it would only think of how to be loyal to its master. It would not think of committing suicide at all. Stop. Stop right now. The giant star beast of starry sky cried out in horror. Lin Feng looked at the giant star beast of starry sky indifferently and said, "Do you think I'll stop just because you ask me to? I'm willing to submit. I'm willing to serve you as my master and be loyal to you." The giant star beast of starry sky cried out, "Tui, you want to be loyal to me now? Don't you think it's too late? I'll just purify you and make you my slave. Wouldn't that be better?" Lin Feng sneered. The giant star beast of starry sky said, "Master, If you purify me, I'll be like a walking corpse. I'll have no interest in living. How interesting would that be? I'll use my soul to pledge my loyalty to you. From now on, I won't betray you. Moreover, I won't become a walking corpse. That way, when you're bored, I can accompany you and chat. Master, please give me a chance. You're really thick-skinned. You're making me feel embarrassed to purify you. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. Then he said, since the heavens are kind, pledge your loyalty to me now. I swear to the heavens that I'll pledge my loyalty to you, Master. If I violate this oath, my soul will be destroyed and I'll die a horrible death. The giant star beast of starry sky pointed at the sky and swore. In an instant, 2 runes of oath condensed. 1 rune of oath flew into Lin Feng's forehead, while the other flew into the giant star beast's forehead. They were bound by the oath rune. Once they betrayed Lin Feng would be able to sense it through the oath rune. He could then activate the oath rune and instantly exterminate the soul of the star beast. Of course, if Lin Feng didn't do anything, the heavenly Tao would punish the giant star beast and destroy his soul. This was because the giant starry sky beast had sworn an oath to the heavens. No one could go against the oath of the heavenly Tao. After the giant starry sky beast finished its oath, Lin Feng removed the 9 devils diagram. What's your name? Lin Feng asked. My name is Nalan Wuhan, the giant star beast said. All right, follow me back to the martial heaven continent. Lin Feng waved his hand and brought everyone back to the ancient ship. Then, the ancient ship descended towards the sky martial continent. As soon as they came out of the atmosphere, they saw billions of dazzling golden lights blotting out the sky. Majestic Buddhist chants resounded through the clouds. In the distance, a huge Buddha appeared in the depths of the golden light. That Buddha was billions of meters tall, like the Buddha of the Buddhist world. It was eternal and immortal. This is the territory of the Western Buddhist kingdom. Lin Feng was startled. They had landed in the Western Buddhist kingdom, the most mysterious of the 3,000 provinces of the martial heaven continent. Namo Amitba. Suddenly, a strange thing happened. The giant Buddha that appeared in the golden light suddenly chanted Buddhist mantras, opened its huge eyes, and looked at the ancient ship in the starry sky. Therefore, once one entered the Western region Buddhist kingdom, anything could happen. They had to be on guard against this. One must always be on guard against others. Seeing Lin Feng's ancient starry sky ship about to leave, the giant Buddha suddenly spoke up in a cold voice. This poor monk kindly invited Benefactor to discuss Buddhism and Tao, but Benefactor actually turned a deaf ear to it. Could it be that Benefactor's words deceived this poor monk? Benefactor is not a cultivator of the sky martial continent. In the past few years, foreign devils have been constantly entering the sky martial continent. It seems you are also foreign devils. Today, this poor monk must exterminate these devils and protect the Tao, returning the world to its former glory. As soon as he finished speaking, the giant Buddha directly extended his right hand. The giant hand seemed to cover the sky as it grabbed at Lin Feng. This grab seemed to cause heaven and earth to collapse. What a good bald donkey. If you want to capture us, just say so. Why do you need to find such sanctimonious excuses? Attack together and kill this bald donkey, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He immediately took out the 9-demon painting and threw it towards the gigantic hand. The God Realm clone swung the great desolate war spear, sending out 108,000 spear strikes. Duzu took out his heretical god blade. The heretical god blade flew out, tearing through the void. The giant star beast swung its devil sword, sending out sword light. Bang! The attacks of the two sides collided. The world shook. The giant Buddha was shaken. Its body swayed a few times. As for the ancient ship, it was sent flying by the energy fluctuations. What a powerful foreign devil! Buddhas, return to your positions and lend me a hand, roared the giant Buddha. His voice resounded above the Buddhist kingdom of the Western region. In the Buddhist kingdom of the Western regions, all the monks in the temples began to chant sutras. At the same time, countless Buddhist people knelt on the ground, kowtowing 3 times and kowtowing 9 times. Faith energy was constantly being generated and poured into the giant Buddha's body. Not good. This giant Buddha is extremely strange. It can actually absorb faith energy and activate the ancient ship with me. Otherwise, I'm afraid we won't be able to escape, shouted Lin Feng. Boom. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, the giant star beast, the God Realm clone, and the three poisonous puppets all supported the ancient ship's spatial jump formation. This was the power of the ancient ship. It could perform spatial jumps. In the blink of an eye, it could travel hundreds of thousands of li. You evil creatures, your souls are so evil. Only by bathing in the holy light of Buddhism can you cleanse your evil souls. The giant Buddha's voice was loud and clear. Suddenly, a thick golden energy turned into a long river and rushed into the parallel space. It quickly caught up with the ancient ship. When they felt the golden energy surging towards them, everyone felt a chill run down their spine. Lin Feng's feeling was the most direct. He felt that the golden energy was very similar to his great purification technique. It was a kind of energy that could forcefully purify others. Quick, quick, quick. Perform the spatial jump. If we're hit by the golden energy, I'm afraid we'll become the giant Buddha's slaves, shouted Lin Feng. Boom, boom. No one dared to hesitate. The spiritual energy in their body continuously flowed into the ancient ship's spatial jump formation. The golden energy was about to drown the ancient ship. At this critical moment, Yi Zichen was stunned. Lin Feng and the others finally activated the spatial jump formation of the ancient ship and quickly jumped out. As for the giant Buddha's attack, it hit nothing but air. It was very difficult to catch up with the ancient ship. After jumping a dozen times, finally, the ancient ship left the Buddhist kingdom of the West. What is this place? Asked Du Zhu. It's close to the Buddhist kingdom of the West. This should be the Tiandao prefecture, right? Said Lin Feng. He narrowed his eyes. At this moment, Lin Feng thought of many things. In the past, he was wanted in the divine prefecture of the East Province. Ziyuan had accompanied him all the way from the divine prefecture of the East Province to the desolate region. In the desolate region, he had met Lan Ruo of the Tiandao prefecture. Lan Ruo had wanted to bring Ziyuan, who had awakened her ancestral blood, back to the sect so that Ziyuan wouldn't have any more fetters. She had even wanted to kill him. At that time, the disciple called Wang Ziyu couldn't bear it and told him the news. He wanted to let him go, but Lan Ruo had killed him. So many years had passed, but Lin Feng had never forgotten about this. Now, he had returned to the Tianwu continent. He had actually come to the Tiandao prefecture. This was Lan Ruo's territory. Chapter 1532. The Heavenly Tao Holy Land was the #1 power in the Heavenly Tao state. This power was extremely mysterious. In fact, even the Heavenly Tao state was an incomparably mysterious state in the Sky Martial continent. The two words Heavenly Tao contained too many meanings and could not help but let one's imagination run wild. Since he had come to the Heavenly Tao state, Lin Feng planned to take a look at Ziyuan. It had been more than 10 years. He wondered how Ziyuan was doing right now. Lin Feng kept the ancient ship, and then, together with Du Zhu and the giant star beast, they chose a direction and quickly flew in that direction. It had been more than 2 years since they left the Sky Martial continent and returned to the Sky Martial continent. Therefore, Lin Feng did not know what the situation in the Sky Martial continent was like. Now, he planned to find a place to inquire about the situation in the Sky Martial continent. 3 days later, a small town appeared in their line of sight. The town was not big, and there were no powerful cultivators. It was very difficult to obtain any useful information here. However, Lin Feng found out about the nearest city in the town. This city was called Dragon Lake City. It was the imperial capital of the Dragon Lake Kingdom. This Dragon Lake Kingdom was a country of cultivators, and there were many cultivators coming and going. Dragon Lake City was very lively, people came and went, and all kinds of hawking sounds could be heard. This is the aura of the mortal world, Du Zhu said with emotion. After sailing in the starry sky world for so long, it was obvious that Du Zhu also missed the beauty of this colorful world. Lin Feng understood Du Zhu very well. Du Zhu, this guy, was full of tricks. Of course, this was understandable. After all, they were all men. Many people said that men were animals who lived with their lower bodies, and it was not without reason. After arriving at Dragon Lake City, Lin Feng went straight to the Mercenary Association. Usually, the Mercenary Association was the place where information gathered the most. Because this was the place where people from all walks of life gathered, the Mercenary Association had a wide range of information. After asking around in the Mercenary Association, Lin Feng had a more direct understanding of the situation in the Sky Martial Continent. In the year after he left, the heavenly demons had continuously invaded many states. However, the situation had changed greatly. First, many powerful beings from the outer realms had descended on the Martial Heaven continent. Immediately afterward, cultivators from the Nine Regions continent on the other side of the Endless Sea also arrived after experiencing dangers. With the addition of these two powers, the situation in the Sky Martial continent became extremely chaotic. The four forces kept going back and forth, fighting against each other. In the end, a balance was formed. The Sky Fiends occupied 300 prefectures. As for the extraterrestrial beings, they occupied 250 prefectures. The cultivators of 9 regions occupied 210 regions. There were also some prefectures where fishes and dragons were mixed together. There were cultivators from the Martial Heaven continent, as well as people from the 9 prefectures. Of course, most of the prefectures were still in the hands of the major powers of the Sky Martial continent. After all, the Sky Martial continent also had a few powerful guardians. Furthermore, he was in possession of several imperial weapons. Therefore, it was still considered the strongest among the four forces. In addition, Lin Feng also inquired about the Country of Desire. After the Sky Martial continent's 4 great powers made peace, Dragon Palace joined forces with several other forces to launch an attack on Country of Desire. The main reason was that Country of Desire was too strong, and it was a force that rose quickly during the war. As a result, it became a thorn in the side of many people. After all, Country of Desire had gathered many experts. Furthermore, Country of Desire had the Longevity Bell, an imperial weapon. It was not easy for Dragon Palace and the other forces to destroy Country of Desire. However, under the joint suppression of Dragon Palace and the other forces, Country of Desire still suffered heavy losses, and their sphere of influence was greatly reduced. Furthermore, the experts in Country of Desire left one after another, and their strength was far from the past. Perhaps they felt that Country of Desire could no longer pose a threat. As a result, Dragon Palace and the other forces did not continue to pursue an attack. Now, Country of Desire became very low-key and acted cautiously. When he found out that Country of Desire was suppressed by Dragon Palace and the other forces and suffered heavy losses, Lin Feng's expression was very ugly. Back then, the Sky Fiends wreaked havoc in the Eastern Sea world, and the people were plunged into misery and suffering. Dragon Palace and the other major forces avoided it, as if they did not know about it. It was Lin Feng who led the Country of Desire's cultivator army. He first fought with Vast Domain Demon Ancestor's Demon Slave Army and killed him. Later on, he fought an even more intense battle with Mosei Tianzuan's cultivator army. In this battle, Lin Feng almost died in the void world that was wreaking havoc in time and space. As for Dragon Palace and the other forces, they did nothing. Now that the 4 great powers had signed a ceasefire agreement, they joined forces to suppress Country of Desire. In fact, it was to snatch Country of Desire's territory and resources. After leaving the Mercenary Association, Lin Feng directly sent Du Zhu and the giant star beast to Country of Desire to take charge of the situation. Du Zhu was in charge of dispatching the army to counterattack Dragon Palace and the other forces, while the giant star beast was in charge of the complicated construction of the temple. Lin Feng had already obtained great benefits from the construction of the temple. Sky Martial Continent was much bigger than the Banished World. It was also the most suitable place to build the temple. After receiving Lin Feng's order, Du Zhu and the giant star beast took Lin Feng's token and headed to Country of Desire. As for Lin Feng, he rested for a day in Dragon Lake City. Then, he set off for Heavenly Dao Sect. Heavenly Dao Sect was located in the Heavenly Dao Stone Forest in the center of Heavenly Dao State. It was rumored that there was the largest stone forest in Sky Martial Continent there. The stone forest stretched for hundreds of thousands of miles and had a long history. Moreover, there were many places where the heavenly Tao's aura was left behind. It was a good place to comprehend the Tao. Many people went to Heavenly Tao sect because of its reputation, wanting to enter Heavenly Tao sect to cultivate. However, it was not an easy task to join Heavenly Tao sect. Lin Feng flew all the way in the direction of Heavenly Tao sect. His heart was not calm. After being separated for 10 years, what kind of attitude would Zi Yuan have when she saw him? Would she be cold and indifferent? Or would her feelings be the same as before? 10 years was enough to change many things. As for the human heart, it did not need 10 years to change. Many times, just one thing could change a person's heart. When Lin Feng passed by a mountain range, he heard earth-shaking shouts. There seemed to be a sect located in the mountain range. Now, that sect was being besieged by a dense group of cultivators. Lin Feng looked from afar and was very surprised. This was because many of the cultivators besieging that sect were from the outer realm. There were even experts from the Heavenly Devil clan. Why are these outer realm beings and heavenly devils besieging such an inconspicuous sect? Lin Feng was very puzzled. Whoosh! At this moment, a woman flew over from afar. That woman quickly flew in Lin Feng's direction. Behind her were densely packed outer realm beings and 4 or 5 powerful heavenly devils that were chasing after her. Chapter 1533. The female cultivator who flew over from afar was dressed in white. Her face was covered, so he couldn't see what she looked like. However, her figure was very alluring. A woman with such a good figure should be very beautiful, right? Of course, there were also many women with hot figures, but ordinary faces. You can't leave. Hand it over. The extraterrestrial beings and the sky fiends behind her shouted coldly. Terrifying killing intent surged out. Lin Feng muttered, "What could make these extraterrestrial beings and sky fiends so crazy? Fellow Taoist, save me." When the female cultivator saw Lin Feng, she seemed to have grabbed onto a life-saving straw. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, "There are so many people chasing you. How can I save you? Wouldn't that be asking for trouble?" The female cultivator said, "I have a huge secret on me." This woman was indeed not simple. Lin Feng grabbed her soft, jade-like hand and rushed into the distance. "Kid, put that woman down." "Kid, are you courting death? You dare to save the person we want to deal with?" The group of extraterrestrial beings and sky fiends immediately roared in anger, their eyes spitting fire. If looks could kill, Lin Feng had already been cut to pieces by the terrifying looks of the extraterrestrial beings and sky fiends countless times. Lin Feng didn't care about the Devamara and the foreign creatures. He stepped on the 8 directional worlds and increased his speed to the maximum. He took the female cultivator and rushed into the distance. There were many experts among the extraterrestrial beings and sky fiends. Lin Feng was not stupid enough to stay behind and fight to the death with them. After running for thousands of kilometers, they finally shook off the extraterrestrial beings and sky fiends. Lin Feng and the female cultivator landed beside a small stream. Lin Feng said, "You can tell me your secret now. I'm very curious. What kind of secret could make so many extraterrestrial beings and sky fiends go crazy?" The female cultivator said, "Secret? What secret? Did I say I had a secret?" The corners of Lin Feng's mouth twitched violently. This woman changed her face faster than flipping a book. "Are you trying to act shamelessly?" Lin Feng glared fiercely at the female cultivator. The female cultivator said, "Can you not slander me?" Lin Feng said, "Since you won't admit it, it looks like I'll have to search you myself and see if I can find any secrets from you. But don't blame me if I touch something I shouldn't touch." After saying that, Lin Feng stretched his hand out to grab the female cultivator. "Damn hooligan, do you believe that I will castrate you?" The female cultivator glared fiercely at Lin Feng. At this moment, she finally revealed her true nature. Lin Feng said, "I admit that I'm a hoodlum. Please remove the word stinky from my name." Lin Feng did not stop. This woman had a big secret on her body. Now, this woman was acting shamelessly and wanted to keep the secret for herself. How could Lin Feng let her succeed? The female cultivator snorted and waved her right hand. Suddenly, a Milky Way world appeared. The Milky Way world stood between her and Lin Feng. Immediately after, the female cultivator quickly retreated. She smiled and said, "Once I use this descent of the Milky Way, it looks like we're very close, but it's like we're separated by a river of stars. It's boundless, so don't even think about catching up to me. Thank you for bringing me out. Let's meet again." Lin Feng's expression did not change. He said, "You clearly have the means to escape from those pursuers, and you're still asking me for help? What is the meaning of this? Since you dared to stand there and watch, it means that your cultivation is extraordinary. If you can bring me out of here, I'll save a lot of effort. If you can't, you'll offend those pursuers because you helped me. I'll find an opportunity to throw you to them. They must hate you very much. When the time comes, they'll deal with you and buy me a lot of time. Why not?" The female cultivator said. Lin Feng rolled his eyes and said, "What a good plan. I have to say I admire you. However, you neglected one thing. Do you think you can escape from me? Do you think you can escape from me just because you want to?" Lin Feng leaped out and directly passed through the Milky Way world. "You." When the female cultivator saw this scene, her expression changed again. Clearly, at this time, she realized that she had underestimated Lin Feng's ability. Whoosh! The female cultivator turned and rushed into the distance. Lin Feng chased after her. With the female cultivator's speed, there was no way she could escape from Lin Feng's hands. It was not very likely. Lin Feng caught up to the female cultivator. "Looks like I'll have to destroy a flower today." Lin Feng directly grabbed the female cultivator. The female cultivator turned and slapped at Lin Feng. Bang! The two sides collided, and the female cultivator was forced back by Lin Feng. Deity realm? Lin Feng frowned slightly. This female cultivator was actually a deity realm expert at such a young age. This really surprised him. However, against Lin Feng, the female cultivator's strength was still lacking. Lin Feng stepped forward and slapped the female cultivator 3 times in a row. The female cultivator's magic power was almost scattered. The difference in strength between the two sides was quite large. The female cultivator was not Lin Feng's match at all. Lin Feng raised his right hand and was about to capture the female cultivator. Wah! Suddenly, the female cultivator burst into tears. Lin Feng was speechless when he heard her cry. It was as if he was bullying the weak. Lin Feng said helplessly, "Why are you crying?" The female cultivator said, "The Scarlet Sun sect passed down by my ancestors was just destroyed, and you came to bully me? How can I not cry? You're the person whose sect was destroyed?" Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly and couldn't help but look at the female cultivator. "Yes, I'm the current sect leader, Scarlet Sun Sun Heir." The female cultivator said, "Why did they destroy your sect?" Lin Feng asked. "It's a long story. My sect passed down a very ancient item that attracted the interest of the extraterrestrial beings and demons, so we encountered a great disaster," Scarlet Sun Sun Heir said with tears in her eyes. "Seeing my family and fellow sect members killed one after another, my heart felt like it was being stabbed by a knife, but I knew that I had to live on. I had to revive the Scarlet Sun sect." Lin Feng asked, "What's that ancient item? Can you let me take a look?" "Don't worry, I won't be greedy for your ancestral treasure. I'm just curious," Lin Feng said. "All right, you're a man. You must keep your word," Scarlet Sun Sun Heir said. "Of course." Lin Feng nodded. "It's this treasure." Scarlet Sun Sun Heir stretched out her right hand. There was an 8 trigrams furnace in her right hand. Suddenly, the lid of the 8 trigrams furnace opened on its own. Then, a powerful devouring force surged out and enveloped Lin Feng. The 8 trigrams furnace directly swallowed Lin Feng. Chapter 1534. You've been fooled again. I'm not the Scarlet Sun sect leader, and I'm not from the Tianwu continent. I'm the daughter of the ancient demon Star's demon sovereign. The female cultivator giggled. It was obvious that her name was not Scarlet Sun Sun Heir. It was just a fake name. "You're a heavenly demon?" Lin Feng did not seem to be worried about being trapped in the 8 trigrams furnace. Instead, he asked calmly, You're the heavenly demon. Your whole family are heavenly demons. The female cultivator snorted and said, Can't you tell? I'm a human. So you're a demon Tao expert. Where's the ancient demon star? Lin Feng asked again. The female cultivator thought for a moment and said, Why should I tell you? I won't tell you. Lin Feng said, Why did you put me in the 8 trigrams furnace? Do you want to use me to concoct medicine? Concoct medicine? No, no, no. I'm not interested in concocting medicine. I just got a map from the Scarlet Sun sect, and I'm going to the secret treasure trove now. I don't know if there are any special conditions to open it, such as a blood sacrifice. If there are, I'll use your blood as a sacrifice. The female cultivator said, A woman's heart is the most poisonous. It seems that this saying is not wrong. Lin Feng sighed. Hee, I'm the demon sovereign's daughter. I've seen all kinds of deception since I was young. What happened today is nothing. If I don't scheme against an idiot like you, who else can I scheme against? The female cultivator said with a smile, Little girl, I'm afraid you're indulging in fantasy. Lin Feng sneered. The female cultivator pursed her lips. She was about to mock him when she suddenly felt that something was wrong. The voice was coming from behind her. The female cultivator turned around and saw Lin Feng standing 3 meters away, looking at her with a faint smile. How is this possible? Weren't you put in the 8 trigrams furnace? The female cultivator screamed. She could not believe what she was seeing. Lin Feng smiled. I'm sorry, but when you used the 8 trigrams cauldron to capture me, I used the sky patching technique. My real body disappeared into the empty space. What you captured was just a clone, that's all, said Lin Feng, smiling. The female cultivator thought that she had been fooled by Lin Feng, but now she realized that Lin Feng was fooling her. This made the female cultivator was furious. She had always been fooling others. When had been fooled, did Lin Feng want to play with him? The female cultivator wished she could slap this bastard who dared to trick her to death. You saw through my plan right from the start? The female cultivator glared at Lin Feng. Heaven, your chest doesn't look big. Why are you so brainless? Lin Feng glanced at the woman's breasts and pursed his lips. Seeing Lin Feng's disdainful look, the female cultivator Lin Feng was furious. Her breasts were not big. They were clearly very big, okay? The female cultivator purposely straightened her back and said fiercely, Open your eyes. Is this what you call not big? Lin Feng smiled and said, I'll know if they're big or not after I try them. Why don't you let me try? You scoundrel. The female cultivator Lin Feng sent a palm strike at Lin Feng. Lin Feng countered with a palm strike, and the female cultivator Lin Feng was forced to retreat. The two of them had already fought before. Although the female cultivator was also in the deity realm, she was no match for Lin Feng. You. How can you be so powerful? The female cultivator Lin Feng bit her lip in disbelief. Lin Feng's body did not have any divine power fluctuations, which meant that he had not broken through to the deity realm. Being able to suppress her without breaking through to the deity realm was too abnormal. Lin Feng smiled and said, Am I very powerful? I don't think I'm particularly powerful. The female cultivator Lin Feng gritted her teeth and asked, You still haven't told me how you saw through my plan. Beauty, this is the Tianwu continent. There are very few experts in the Tianwu continent, and even fewer deities. Do you think this is the outer realm? How can an ordinary sect leader reach the deity realm? Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. When the female cultivator Lin Feng heard that she was the sect leader of the Flaming Sun sect, Lin Feng knew that she was full of lies. Those words might be able to deceive cultivators from the outer realm or the 9 provinces continent. After all, those cultivators had not been in the Tianwu continent for long and did not know much about the various factions. However, it was impossible to deceive Lin Feng with such nonsense. Lin Feng had lived in the Tianwu continent for many years, so he knew very well what kind of experts there were in the Tianwu continent. How could he be so easily deceived? So be it. Now, this great ant will let you have a taste of my 8 trigrams furnace's power. The female cultivator snorted and waved her right hand. Suddenly, the 8 trigrams furnace flew out. The 8 trigrams furnace shook slightly in the air. Suddenly, waves of destructive power surged out. The 8 trigrams furnace quickly grew in size and soon became as big as a mountain, pressing down on Lin Feng. This was an extremely powerful treasure. Its power was astonishing, and it could suppress all the gods and devils in the world. The female cultivator immediately shouted proudly, "Brat, do you think that just because your cultivation is stronger than mine, you can defeat me? Let me tell you, you are still far from it. This great ant has a treasure, so I can use it to smash you to death." Boom, boom. With that, the 8 trigrams furnace pressed down on Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, "Your treasure is indeed not weak, but compared to my treasure, it's far inferior." Lin Feng immediately took out the 9 devils picture. The 9 devils picture soared into the sky. Endless devil chi churned. The devil chi that blotted out the sky enveloped the world. As the devil chi spewed out, the 9 devils picture had already collided with the 8 trigrams furnace. Clang! A loud sound rang out. The 8 trigrams furnace was sent flying by the 9 devils picture. 9 devils picture. This is the heavenly devil clan's imperial weapon, the 9 devils picture. How did you get the 9 devils picture? What is your relationship with the heavenly devil clan? After seeing the 9 devils picture, the female cultivator cried out in shock, her expression full of disbelief. Lin Feng laughed out loud. "I have nothing to do with the heavenly devil clan. I snatched this 9 devils picture from a heavenly devil. How is this possible?" The female cultivator's expression was full of disbelief. At this time, Lin Feng had already stepped forward and slapped towards the female cultivator. "Little girl, it's time to end this. I just happen to be lacking a servant girl to warm my bed. I see that you are not bad-looking and your figure is not bad. From now on, you will be my servant girl to warm my bed." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Feng's attack had already landed. "I am the daughter of the Devil King. You dare to make me a servant girl to warm your bed? Do you want to die?" The female cultivator shrieked, her hands forming seals to use a powerful divine ability to block Lin Feng's attack. However, Lin Feng's battle strength was too strong. In just 3 rounds, he had dispersed the magic power on the female cultivator's body. The female cultivator's expression was very ugly. First, it was because she had been captured by Lin Feng. Second, it was because she realized that the man in front of her was not afraid of her Devil King father at all. This bastard wouldn't really make her a servant girl to warm his bed, right? She was a great beauty. What if this bastard's beastly instincts kicked in and he forced himself on her? Thinking of this, the female cultivator was so frightened that her face turned pale. Chapter 1535. I was wrong. Big brother, please be magnanimous and spare me this time. The female cultivator immediately begged, looking like she was about to cry. It was obvious that the female cultivator was not stupid. She knew that she could not threaten Lin Feng at this time. Instead, she should beg for mercy. Perhaps Lin Feng would let her go out of sympathy? A woman's tears were always the best weapon. This woman was really good at acting. One moment, she was a demoness. One moment, she looked pitiful and pitiful. However, these were all illusions. He could not believe it. Lin Feng said, "Come on, put away your hypocritical look. Swear to be my slave now. You can suffer less. If you don't know what's good for you, you'll have to suffer. Why don't you just kill me?" The female cultivator raised her head, looking like she was at his mercy. Lin Feng said, "Do you really think that I can't subdue you? If that's what you think, then you're wrong." Lin Feng stretched out his hand and summoned the 9 devils picture and the 8 trigrams cauldron back. The 2 treasures shrank to the size of a palm. Lin Feng put away the 9 devils picture. Then, he opened the 8 trigrams cauldron and released his deity realm clone. Then, the 8 trigrams cauldron was suppressed by Lin Feng. "That's my treasure." Seeing that Lin Feng had suppressed her treasure, the female cultivator gritted her teeth in anger. Lin Feng said, "It's mine now. Even you are mine." Lin Feng carried the female cultivator on his shoulder. The female cultivator thought that Lin Feng was going to carry her to a cave or a small forest, strip her naked, and do something worse to her. Therefore, she kept struggling. As she struggled, she cursed loudly, "Bastard! Damn hooligan! Put me down!" Slap, slap, slap. Lin Feng raised his right hand and slapped the female cultivator 3 times in a row. Whoa! The female cultivator had never suffered such humiliation before, causing her to cry out in grievance. Don't pretend. I know what kind of person you are. Your tears are full of lies. They're worthless, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng muttered. What are you trying to do to me? The female cultivator gritted her teeth and asked. I'll let you take a bath. Once you're clean, you can warm my bed. Lin Feng threw the female cultivator into the pool in front of him. The clothes were thin to begin with. It was all wet now. After the female cultivator stood up from the pool, the clothes that were as thin as a cicada's wings were completely clinging to the body, giving off a feeling of asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Her exquisite figure was completely exposed in front of Lin Feng's eyes. She was as beautiful as a painting. Perhaps this was the situation before his eyes? The female cultivator covered her vital parts with both hands and said fiercely, How about we make a deal? What deal? Lin Feng asked. Let me go, and I'll take you to the hidden place. The female cultivator said. How do we split the treasures? Lin Feng asked. 50-50. The female cultivator said. No, I'll take 80. You take 20. Lin Feng said. The female cultivator immediately screamed like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. I went through a lot of trouble to snatch the key to the hidden place from the hands of extraterrestrial creatures and sky demons. You want 80% of the treasures? You're too greedy. If you don't agree, then forget it. I haven't tasted a beauty in a long time. Are you done bathing? A moment of spring is worth 1,000 gold, Lin Feng said with a smile. Deal. The female cultivator screamed in fear. Lin Feng's mouth revealed a trace of a smile. Evil people needed evil people to deal with evil people. To deal with female cultivators, he naturally had to use evil methods. If he used ordinary methods, the female cultivator would definitely not obediently submit. Actually, if the female cultivator did not submit, Lin Feng could not do anything to her. Take her as a slave? This kind of thing could only scare the female cultivator. After all, the female cultivator's father was a demon lord level expert. The demon lord should be an expert above the heavenly god level. Such an expert, even in the ancient era, would be the overlord of space, a super expert. Let alone in this era? A small dispute with a female cultivator was nothing, but if he really did something outrageous to the female cultivator, if a demon lord above the heavenly god realm was angered, this anger was not something Lin Feng could withstand for the time being. I'll go over there. Come up and change your clothes. Lin Feng said. You're not allowed to peek. The female cultivator walked out of the pool and said with a red face, Would I peek? If I want to look, I'll look openly. Lin Feng curled his lips. The female cultivator was furious. This bastard deserved a beating. To be able to flirt with a woman so openly and righteously, this was the first time she had seen such a shameless man. I'll endure it. I'll endure it for now. The female cultivator glared fiercely at Lin Feng, then walked out of the pool and hid behind a big tree. With a thought, she took out a clean set of clothes from her storage ring and changed into them. After changing her clothes, the female cultivator walked out again. She looked coldly at Lin Feng and said, Where's my 8 trigrams furnace? It's mine now, Lin Feng said. The female cultivator immediately screamed, Give it back to me quickly, or I'll not let you off. Then, the female cultivator stretched out her claws and scratched at Lin Feng. Perhaps after losing her magic power, this was the female cultivator's best method. Lin Feng grabbed the female cultivator and said with a smile, This method is useless against me, but since we're cooperating, I'll show some sincerity. I'll return this broken furnace to you. Lin Feng took out the 8 trigrams furnace and returned it to the female cultivator. After the female cultivator put away her 8 trigrams furnace, her expression became better. Lin Feng asked, What's your name? Morong Sun Air. The female cultivator said, So you used a fake surname before. Lin Feng muttered, What's your name? Morong Sun Air asked. She was actually quite curious about Lin Feng. This was because Lin Feng seemed to be from the Tianwu continent. There was actually such a monstrous young cultivator in the Tianwu continent? Morong Sun Air found it hard to believe. Lin Feng, it's you. the leader of the East Sea Cultivator Army who disappeared more than 2 years ago? Morong Sun Air was shocked. Lin Feng said with a smile, "Am I that famous? Even you know me?" Morong Sun Air curled her lips and said, "I've been to the East Sea and heard about you. What's the big deal about you? It's widely said that you're dead, but you're still alive. It's true that good people don't live long, but disasters live for 1,000 years." "What are you talking about? You're asking for a beating." Lin Feng groaned, raised his right hand and said, "Let's go." Pa. Murong Sun Air's bosom was attacked. Lin Feng slapped her and a loud sound spread in the air. "You bastard." Murong Sun Air's face was red. Murong Sun Air's face turned red. She covered her butt and stared at Lin Feng furiously. Chapter 1536. Lin Feng said, "Next time, you should know how to speak in front of me, right?" Morong Sun wanted to pounce on Lin Feng and bite him to death, but she knew that she wasn't a match for Lin Feng. She could only continue to endure. In her heart, however, she was cursing fiercely. "Bastard, bastard, shameless lecher, just you wait. Sooner or later, you'll fall into my hands. When that time comes, I'll take care of you." Thinking of this, Morong Sun Er's expression became better. Lin Feng said, "What's the origin of that secret trove? How did it make so many extraterrestrial creatures and demons go crazy?" Morong Sun said, "It's the grave of the Crane Boy." "The Crane Boy? Who's that? I've never heard of him." Lin Feng muttered. Morong Sun said, "You haven't even heard of the Crane Boy? Aren't you a little too ignorant? You're really ignorant. Does it make you happy to attack me?" Lin Feng pursed his lips. Morong Sun giggled. "Yes, it's my pleasure to attack you." Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. "Who's this Crane Boy? Tell me." Morong Sun said, "Have you heard of Pengu's creation?" Lin Feng said, "Isn't that obvious? Who hasn't heard of Pengu's creation?" Said Morong Sun. "Then, do you know where Pengu went after he created the world? Rumor has it that Pengu's body evolved into a myriad of worlds. Of course, I don't think that's realistic. It's too much of a myth." Lin Feng said. Morong Sun nodded. "Yes, it's too much of a myth. Actually, Pengu didn't evolve into a myriad of worlds. Instead, he turned into the primeval Tianzuan." Lin Feng was shocked. Isn't the primeval Tianzuan the founder of Taoism? Lin Feng had naturally heard of the primeval Tianzuan. He was the head of the Three Pure Ones, the founder of Taoism, but his origin was very mysterious. Morong Sun said, "The primeval Tianzuan was Pengu." This shocked Lin Feng. The primeval Tianzuan was actually Pengu's incarnation? His origin was terrifying. Morong Sun the primeval Tianzuan, the primeval Tianzuan. He's the founder of Taoism. The primeval Tianzuan's the primeval of the primeval Tianzuan. The general mirror of the past immortals called the Heavenly Lord Yuanshi, the ancestor of the heavenly realm. Tianzuan of the Tianzuan of the three Tianzuan of Tianzuan. When the immeasurable tribulation came, he used the mysterious heavenly Tao to teach all living beings. That's why he's called Tianzuan. In the records of the Taoism scriptures, the Taoism created by the Heavenly Lord Yuanshi, the Jade Clear Heavenly Lord Yuanshi, the Prime Clear Heavenly Lord Lingbao, and the Grand Clear Heavenly Lord of Tao and Virtue, the Grand Clear Heavenly Lord of Tao and Virtue. The 10 Rules of Taoism said, the primeval Tianzuan of the Three Pure Ones is born from one. Regardless of whether there are thousands of gods, thousands of spirits, thousands of truths, and thousands of saints, there is the saying of one pure ones. Lin Feng asked, "What's the relationship between the White Crane Boy and the primeval Tianzuan or Pengu?" Morong Sun said, "We'll have to start from the primeval Tianzuan's disciples. The primeval Tianzuan's disciples are all extraordinary. 9 Immortal Mountains Peach Blossom Cave, Guangchengzi. 2 Immortal Mountains Magu Cave. Huanglong Qinyuan Mountains Golden Light Cave, Taizhenren. 5 Dragon Mountains Cloud Cave, Manjushri Guangfa Tianzuan." He later joined Buddhism and became Manjushri Bodhisattva. Putuo Mountains Chaoyin Cave, Ci Hang. He later joined Buddhism and became Guanyin Bodhisattva. Taoist Tianzuan of the Jade Cave of the Golden Court Mountain. Qijing Jingzi of the Cloud Cave of the Taihua Mountain. Zhu Lusun of the Cloud Cave of the Clamped Dragon Mountain. Later joined Buddhism, became Zhu Lusun Buddha. Lingbao of the Primeval Yang Cave of the Kongtong Mountain. Samantabhadra of the White Crane Cave of the Nine Palace Mountain. Later joined Buddhism, became Samantabhadra, Jade Cauldron of the Golden Cloud Cave of the Jade Spring Mountain. Qing Su Dao Lord of the Purple Sun Cave of the Green Summit Mountain. The other disciples, Yun Zhongzi of the Jade Pillar Cave of the Zhongnan Mountain. Xianwang of the South Pole, Jade Void Palace. White Crane Boy, Primeval Tianzuan's attendant, Jiang Ziashin Gongbao. Look at the Primeval Tianzuan's disciples. Which one of them isn't famous? The White Crane Boy is the Primeval Tianzuan's attendant. He's been with the Primeval Tianzuan for the longest time, so he's the closest to the Primeval Tianzuan, Morong Suner said. Lin Feng rubbed his chin. So the White Crane Boy was the Primeval Tianzuan's disciple. His background was a little frightening. However, Lin Feng had heard of the Primeval Tianzuan's disciples, Jiang Zia, Guanyin Bodhisattva, and Manjushri Bodhisattva. Jiang Zia, Jiang Taigong, and the Phoenix Pavilion. They were Jiang Yudi's ancestors. As for Guanyin Bodhisattva and Manjushri Bodhisattva, many temples had statues of them. Lin Feng said, there must be a lot of treasures in the White Crane Boy's tomb, right? Murong Suner said, needless to say, there must be a mountain of treasures in the White Crane Boy's tomb. However, the biggest secret isn't the White Crane Boy's tomb, but the Primeval Tianzuan's legacy. The Primeval Tianzuan's legacy? Lin Feng was shocked. Murong Sun Er nodded and said, the Heavenly Lord of the Origin is the most powerful existence since the creation of the world. When he turned into the Panga giant body and created the world, he left behind a secret treasure called the Secret Realm of Ether. Have you heard of it? Lin Feng nodded. He had heard of it before. It was a secret territory controlled by Huangfu Qingtian. Huangfu Qingtian's rise was related to the secret territory of Ether. After that, the Primeval Tianzuan left behind a second secret territory called the Primeval Secret Territory. Morong Suner said, what's in the Primeval Secret Territory? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. Apart from the part of Pangu's orthodoxy in the secret realm of Ether, there is another great secret. You can enter the original secret realm from the secret realm of Ether. That is the most incredible inheritance. It is said that the inheritor of the secret realm of Ether, Huangfu Qingtian, has found a way to enter the original secret realm. Therefore, many people are very anxious now. They want to find other ways to enter the original secret realm and seize the inheritance of the original Lord. Morong Suner said, the secret territory of Ether that Pango left behind was taken by Huangfu Qingtian. So, Huangfu Qingtian is Panga's inheritor, and Pangu and the Primeval Tianzuan are the same person. So, the Primeval Tianzuan left the Primeval Secret Territory to Huangfu Qingtian? Lin Feng said with a gloomy face. There was less than a year left before the battle of life and death between him and Huangfu Qingtian. Lin Feng didn't want to see Huangfu Qingtian become so strong. Murong Suner nodded and said, that's right. The secret territory of Ether left by Pangu should only be a primary secret territory. As the successor, Huangfu Qingtian passed the test and was able to enter the ultimate secret territory, the secret territory of Ether. Many people were unwilling to accept the fact that the secret territory of Ether was taken by Huangfu Qingtian. However, Huangfu Qingtian was very cunning. He sealed the secret territory of Ether, and no one could find him. Some peerless cultivators sensed that the secret territory of Ether was shaking. It was very likely that Huangfu Qingtian was about to enter the secret territory of Ether. Chapter 1537. No matter what, Lin Feng had to find a way to enter the Origin Secret Land. Even if he couldn't obtain the inheritance of the primeval Heavenly Lord, he couldn't let Huangfu Qingtian obtain it. If Huangfu Qingtian obtained it, it would be a disaster. Even if he obtained the complete inheritance of the primeval Heavenly Lord, he wouldn't be a match for Huangfu Qingtian. A 10-year battle to the death. It boded ill rather than well. Where is the Crane Boy's tomb? Asked Lin Feng. I haven't had time to study it yet. I'll find out after I study it, said Morong Sun Er. She waved her right hand, and a scroll appeared in her hand. Murong Sun Air opened the scroll. There was a picture drawn on the scroll. It was a painting of mountains and rivers. Mountains, waterfalls, streams, birds, flowers, etc. Suddenly, a white crane flew out from the depths of the painting. This scroll is really mysterious. Could it be that the secret of the Crane Boy's tomb is hidden in this scroll? Said Lin Feng while looking at the scroll. He was surprised. Murong Sun Air nodded and said, "It's called the White Crane Sky Gazing Diagram. It hides the secret of the White Crane Boy's grave. Of course, it's also possible that it's not a grave, but a mysterious world. After all, the White Crane Boy was so strong. It's normal for him to leave a mysterious world behind. If it's a secret territory, it's even more valuable," said Lin Feng, frowning. "Do you see anything special about it?" Murong Sun Air looked at it for a long time, but didn't find anything special. She then looked at Lin Feng. Said Lin Feng, "I used my divine sense to examine it, but I didn't find anything special about it. Since it's called the Crane Sky-Gazing Diagram, I think the key is the word sky-gazing diagram." Asked Murong Sun Air. "What do you mean? Sky-gazing? I think it's about comprehending the Tao," said Lin Feng. Said Murong Sun Air. "If that's the case, we need to find a quiet place and carefully comprehend it." Lin Feng nodded and flew away with Murong Sun Air. The two of them planned to find a suitable place to hide and comprehend the Tao Law on the scroll. Boom. But right at this moment, a terrifying aura spread out. The void cracked open. 5 heavenly demons stepped out of the cracked void. 5 God Realm heavenly demons. Lin Feng didn't have any impression of these 5 celestial devils. He guessed that they were celestial devils that had entered the martial heaven continent after he had left. After that, over 30 xeno-race beings tore through space and stepped out as well. Most of these extraterrestrial beings were cultivators of the extraterrestrial race. However, there were also many cultivators from other races, such as the Star Demon race, the Star Beast race, and so on. Some of them looked like humans, while others looked half human and half beast, like beastmen. There were more than 30 extraterrestrial creatures, and 7 of them were deity realm experts. The rest were all demigods. "We've been surrounded." Murong Sun Air's expression changed when she saw the extraterrestrial beings and heavenly demons. Even though Lin Feng had shown his extraordinary fighting strength, he was still very strong. She was also a deity realm expert. However, there were only 2 of them. Their opponents had the advantage in numbers. There were a total of 12 deity realm experts. If they really fought, the disparity in strength would be too great. How many extraterrestrial beings and heavenly demons have descended during this period? Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. It seemed that there were many extraterrestrial beings and heavenly demons that had descended on the martial heaven continent. Haha, everyone has arrived. We're a step too late. At this moment, loud laughter rang out. A dazzling golden light flew over from afar. Over 20 experts walked out of the golden light. These experts were led by 3 deity realm experts. "Who are these people?" Lin Feng whispered. Murong Sun Air replied, "They're the descendants of the Golden Emperor of the Jojo continent. It's said that their ancestor was a holy spirit that had been buried underground for countless years. Even a rock could transform into a living being. Therefore, Lin Feng wasn't surprised that the Golden Emperor could transform into a living being. Originally, Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air were at a disadvantage. Now that the Golden Clan's experts had arrived, the situation seemed to be even worse for Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air. Murong Sun Air was also very clear about this point. Her face was even uglier than before. Murong Sun Air glanced at Lin Feng, who was standing beside her, and saw Lin Feng's calm expression. Murong Sun Air was speechless. Right now, the extraterrestrial beings, heavenly demons, and Jojo continent's cultivators had a total of 15 deity realm experts. There were more than 50 demigod realm experts. They were so powerful, and there were only 2 people on their side. This bastard still acted like he didn't care. He would probably cry later. "Do you think you can run away?" "Ridiculous." A heavenly demon coldly looked at Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air. Murong Sun Air, hand over the white crane sky gazing diagram and we'll spare your life for your father's sake. As for this kid, he'll definitely die today. A deity realm extraterrestrial being said coldly. Haha, this kid's blood chi is strong and his body is strong. He should be a good puppet. A deity realm expert from the Golden Clan sneered. Let's break out. You have the 9 demon painting and I have the 8 trigrams furnace. Maybe we can break out. Morong Sun Air whispered. Oomph. A heavenly demon coldly snorted and said, Morong Sun Air, don't whisper. Do you think we don't know what you're talking about? You want to break out, right? We've already sealed this place with a great formation. You can't escape even if you have wings. As soon as the heavenly demon finished speaking, his hands continuously formed seals. Suddenly, the great formation around them intertwined. It completely sealed the area. So you've already prepared. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows. Kid, you want to get your hands on the Yuanshi Tianzuan secret territory? What the hell? Are you regretting your decision now? A deity realm extraterrestrial being sneered at Lin Feng. In his opinion, Lin Feng was no different from a dead man. Lin Feng sneered and said, A bunch of trash like you dares to shout in front of me? I don't know where you get your courage from. After hearing Lin Feng's words, everyone was stunned. Arrogant. Too arrogant. They had never seen anyone as arrogant as Lin Feng. He was surrounded and trapped by a great formation. He was going to die, but he was still so arrogant. What was going on in this guy's head? Even Morong Sun Air couldn't help but roll her eyes. Morong Sun Air had seen all kinds of people. She had seen all kinds of geniuses and arrogant heirs of great forces. It was the first time she had seen someone as arrogant as Lin Feng. The strong cultivators of the 3 influential groups were infuriated by Lin Feng's arrogance. They all looked glum as they looked at Lin Feng with murder in their eyes. This kind of method was truly miraculous. Now, Morong Sun Air was even thinking if she could find a way to get Lin Feng to reveal his means. If he could learn it, wouldn't he be able to turn the surrounding mountains into ferocious beasts like Lin Feng? Thinking of this, Morong Sun Air's eyes suddenly rolled. He didn't know what he was up to this time. Go all out and destroy these 4 beasts. The experts of the 3 forces roared furiously. Now, the black tortoise sacred beast also joined in to help the other 3 sacred beasts resist the attacks of the 3 forces. At the same time, Lin Feng took out the 3 poisonous puppets. The 3 poisonous puppets released a powerful poison. The poisonous fog rolled. The poisonous fog shrouded all the cultivators of the 3 forces. Everyone, be careful. There's poison. Many cultivators shouted in horror. After inhaling the poison, many of them immediately felt dizzy, nauseous, and unable to exert any strength. This was a normal reaction of the body after being poisoned. Once a cultivator was poisoned, his combat strength would plummet, just like the experts of the 3 forces. The demigod realm cultivators couldn't resist the poison released by the 3 poisonous puppets. As for the divine realm cultivators, although they could resist the poison, it would also cause them to be distracted. Originally, they could use 100% of their combat strength, but now they could only use 60% to 70% of their combat strength. As for the white tiger, vermilion bird, azure dragon, and black tortoise sacred beasts, because they were transformed from mountains, they were not affected by the poison at all. While the cultivators of the 3 forces' combat strength was sharply reduced, the 4 sacred beasts charged into the crowd and attacked with all their might. Puff, puff. Cultivators were killed one after another. Good job. Morong Sun jumped up and down in excitement. She looked like she wanted to rush up and join the battle. Crazy woman. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter. Morong Sun looked at Lin Feng and said, You really have a lot of tricks up your sleeves. You even have a poisonous puppet. How did you refine it? Teach me. There's a price to pay if you want to learn, Lin Feng said with a half-smile. Name your price. What do you want? Treasures? Cultivation spirit stones? Elixirs? Divine pills? I'll give you whatever you want. Morong Sun said. Morong Sun's interest in the poisonous puppets was far greater than her interest in the inheritance of the heavenly master. After all, Morong Sun was the daughter of the demon king. Demonic Dao cultivators were mostly treacherous people. Lin Feng had already experienced Murong Sun, Er's cunning character. Therefore, Murong Sun, liked to use insidious means to deal with others. The poisonous puppets obviously met all of Murong Sun, Er's requirements. Lin Feng said, "Give me your first time, and I'll tell you. Why don't you just die?" Murong Sun, glared at Lin Feng fiercely, then kicked Lin Feng. Lin Feng quickly jumped back and dodged Murong Sun, Er's kick. "Quick! Break out of the encirclement." At this time, the three forces suffered heavy losses. All the demigod cultivators died, 2 divine state cultivators died, and the 13 Shangxia cultivators suffered some injuries. Therefore, they didn't plan to stay and fight. Instead, they planned to break out of the encirclement with all their might. Boom, boom. The combined power of these 13 godly realm experts was no small matter. They unleashed a powerful battle prowess and blocked the attacks of the 3 poisonous puppets and the 4 sacred beasts. They were about to break out of the encirclement. At this time, Lin Feng summoned his divine state clone. After the divine state clone joined the battle, the 13 divine state cultivators suddenly felt great pressure. Puff, puff. The doppelganger of the god state seized the opportunity and stabbed out twice in a row, killing a gold clan expert and an extraterrestrial creature respectively. Now, there were only 11 divine state cultivators left. Their situation was even worse. At this time, a heavenly demon took out a jade talisman and crushed it. Swoosh. After the jade talisman was crushed, a world appeared. It was a huge palace. In the palace, there was the magic lotus floating in the air. Below the magic lotus sat a young demonic cultivator. "Young master, help." After seeing the demonic young master, the heavenly demon who crushed the jade talisman cried for help. The young master seemed to have heard the heavenly demon's cry for help. He opened his eyes and looked at Lin Feng. "I knew you wouldn't die in the space-time reversal. You really came back?" Chapter 1539. This young man was none other than Lin Yun. He was the son of the heavenly demon emperor, Gongzi Yu. Lin Feng and Gongzi Yu were old rivals. However, back then, Lin Feng had only been an ant in front of Gongzi Yu. But now, Lin Feng had grown up. "Gongzi Yu, long time no see." Lin Feng looked at Gongzi Yu and nodded. The group of deity realm experts was stunned. They didn't expect Lin Feng and Gongzi Yu to know each other. From Gongzi Yu's tone, it was obvious that he valued this young cultivator. No wonder everyone had lost so miserably. This defeat was not unjust. "Where's that guy? Did you kill him?" Gongzi Yu asked. He was naturally referring to Mose Tianzuan. Gongzi Yu didn't care about Mose Tianzuan's life or death. What he cared about was whether Mose Tianzuan's the magic lotus had fallen into Lin Feng's hands. If Lin Feng killed Mose Tianzuan, the magic lotus would naturally fall into Lin Feng's hands. Lin Feng said, "I have to say that you heavenly demons, especially innate heavenly demons like Mose Tianzuan, have strange and unfathomable methods. He was only left with a remnant soul, but you actually let him come back to life." Gongzi Yu said, "If that's the case, it won't be easy to kill him again." Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat, and he said, "What? Don't tell me you want his life too?" Gongzi Yu smiled strangely and said, "How can that be? After all, we are of the same race." "Ha ha ha ha." Lin Feng suddenly laughed and said, "Although the two of you are of the same race, Mose Tianzuan is an innate skyfiend while you are a postnatal skyfiend. Aren't the two of you opposing each other?" Gongzi Yu said, "Whether we are enemies or not is an internal matter of the celestial devil clan. Today, I will be taking these people away. Can you make an exception?" "That depends on whether you have the ability or not." Lin Feng took a step forward. Instantly, a river of death engulfed heaven and earth. Lin Feng had used the great death art, condensing a river of death and attacking the group of experts. As expected, you are really a scourge. However, you're not a match for Huangfu Qingtian right now. I've heard that there's less than a year left before the 10-year battle. Huangfu Qingtian has already absorbed a drop of Pangu's blood and broken through to the godly layer. If you can't break through, you'll die in a year. Gongzi Yu smiled and pointed at the magic lotus floating in the air. The magic lotus shot out a ray of demonic light, and destroyed Lin Feng's river of death. Then, the demonic light wrapped around the remaining 11 experts and tore through the void, disappearing without a trace. What a terrifying the magic lotus! Lin Feng frowned. The demon lotus of the Devamara clan was terrifying. The more Lin Feng talked to it, the stronger he became. The more he interacted with it, the more he could sense how terrifying the magic lotus was. After Gongzi Yu saved the 11 experts, Lin Feng took back his doppelganger and poisoned doppelganger. Murong Sun Er's eyes lit up as she said, "So you have a life and death battle with Huang Fu Qing Tian. But now you're in trouble. Huang Fu Qing Tian has devoured Panga's ancestral blood and has mastered some of Panga's ancient magical powers. Once a monster like Huang Fu Qing Tian breaks through to the god realm, his magical power will be monstrous. Huang Fu Qing Tian's talent isn't any worse than yours. You may be able to kill some ordinary gods when you're at a lower level, but you definitely won't be able to kill a monster like Huang Fu Qing Tian. Instead, you'll probably be killed by Huang Fu Qing Tian. Only then can you break through to the godly layer." Lin Feng nodded and said, "I know that. Therefore, I can't let Huang Fu Qing Tian get the premier secret land. If he does, I'll definitely die in this battle." The two didn't stay any longer. They came to an ancient city and booked a room. Murong Sun took out the white crane sky-gazing painting. Lin Feng and Murong Sun sat cross-legged and carefully comprehended the Dao Qi of the white crane sky-gazing painting. The world of painting and calligraphy. A white crane. It spread its wings and flew high. 3 days and 3 nights passed. Murong Sun opened her eyes and sighed. She didn't understand anything in the past 3 days and 3 nights. The secret of the white crane sky-gazing painting was still a mystery. Murong Sun found that Lin Feng was still in a state of epiphany. Murong Sun observed Lin Feng. "This guy looks pretty good, but who would have thought that he's actually a bastard?" Murong Sun curled her lips. At this moment, Lin Feng entered a mysterious state. He felt that his divine sense had entered the world of the painting. He could feel the aura of the surrounding flowers, trees, forests, and even hear some insects and birds chirping. Suddenly, a loud sound came from afar. A white crane flew over. To be precise, it was a crane surrounded by immortal light. It spread its wings and flew. The white crane flew out from the depths. Then, it turned around and flew into the depths of the forest. Soon, it disappeared without a trace. However, after 3 days, the white crane flew out again. Then, it flew around and disappeared into the depths again. After 3 days, the white crane appeared again. So that's it. I know. This white crane is a mount. It can lead us to the things left behind by the white crane boy. Lin Feng's face showed joy. The white crane flew over again and let out a loud cry. Lin Feng opened his eyes and grabbed Murong Sun hand. "Hey, stinky pervert, you're taking advantage of me again. Believe it or not, I'll beat you up." Murong Sun screamed. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes and said, "What are you screaming for? Who's taking advantage of you? I found a way to enter the grave of the white crane boy." "Oh, really?" Murong Sun was surprised. The white crane flew over again. Lin Feng grabbed Murong Sun and rushed directly toward the scroll suspended in midair. Whoosh whoosh, when Lin Feng and Murong Sun got close to the scroll, their bodies quickly shrank. The next moment, the two disappeared from the room, and there were 2 more little people in the scroll. Those 2 little people were Lin Feng and Murong Sun "We entered the scroll?" Murong Sun said in surprise. Lin Feng nodded and said, "I guess that this scroll is actually an entrance to a space. It should be a heaven-defying magic that refined the entrance into the scroll." At this time, the white crane had already flown above their heads. Lin Feng said, "Let's go. Ride the white crane. This white crane will take us to the destination." Lin Feng grabbed Murong Sun's hand and flew to the sky, above the lily, and then on the white crane. The white crane's body was not big, just enough to carry 2 people. Murong Sun sat in front. Lin Feng sat behind Murong Sun. The white crane let out a loud cry, then spread its wings and flew into the depths of the scroll. Chapter 1540. The ancient forest was so dense that one could even hear the roars of berserk beasts. Is this place where we are in the painting? Why do I feel like this is the real world? Morong Sun Air couldn't help but ask. In the distance, a huge creature stood up. It was actually a huge centipede with densely packed legs. The huge centipede stood up straight and was over 10,000 meters tall. Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air were shocked. Isn't this body too huge? It was the first time they saw such a huge centipede. Is this a prehistoric centipede? Morong Sun Air couldn't help but mutter. The prehistoric civilization predated the ancient times and even the immortal era. There was no way to know how long ago it was. However, some information about the prehistoric civilization could be found in some scriptures. It was said that there were many abnormally huge berserk beasts in the prehistoric civilization. For example, the current frog was only half the size of a palm. The frog that appeared in the prehistoric civilization, a frog was 3,000 to 4,000 meters tall. How huge was that? The white crane carried Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air all the way to the depths. Along the way, they saw many powerful berserk beasts. However, the white crane was very fast and left those powerful berserk beasts behind in the blink of an eye. Therefore, those berserk beasts had no chance to attack Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air. Look, what is that? Why is it so dark? Suddenly, Morong Sun Air pointed to the front. In front of them, black fog was rolling, and the rolling black fog was quickly moving in the direction of Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air. There seemed to be something in the black fog. Both sides were quickly approaching. Finally, Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air saw what was in the black fog. In the black fog, there was a dense group of black bats. Those bats weren't big, about the size of a palm. However, those bats were extremely strange. They had the body of a bat and the head of a wolf. These bats were called wolf-headed black bats. It was also a race that had long disappeared from the outside world. It had actually appeared in the world within the painting. Wolf-headed black bats had extremely powerful attacks. Their heads were not to be underestimated. It was said that the teeth of wolf-headed black bats could even crush divine weapons. This showed how terrifying wolf-headed black bats were. If a cultivator was surrounded by wolf-headed black bats, they would be devoured in an instant. Wolf-headed black bats, this is bad. Morong Sun Air, that wolf-headed Morong Sun Air. Lin Feng immediately took out the purple earth core. The earth core, the earth core was burning was the earth core. Countless wolf-headed earth core bats and Morong Sun Air were burned to death. Countless wolf-headed black batses and fell wolf-headed earth core. The black wolf-headed bats that were still alive didn't dare attack Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air anymore. They quickly flew away. When Lin Feng was some distance away from the wolf-headed black bats, he summoned his celestial fire back. You just took out a heavenly flame. Morong Sun Air was very knowledgeable and recognized Lin Feng's heavenly flame. Lin Feng nodded. That's right, it's heavenly flame. Morong Sun Air was slightly surprised. She thought that Lin Feng would try to hide it. She did not expect that. Lin Feng admitted it without hesitation. Morong Sun Air snorted. How many secrets do you have that I don't know? I advise you not to pay too much attention to me. I'm worried that you'll latch onto me again. I'm not interested in you. Lin Feng said. Who would latch onto you? Shameless bastard. Morong Sun Air snorted. Time passed quickly as Morong Sun Air bickered with Morong Sun Air. About a day and a half later, the immortal crane let out a loud cry. Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air looked towards the depths of the painting and were shocked. In the depths of the painting, immortal fog was lingering, and above the immortal fog, there were many palaces. It was just like the legendary Immortal Palace, Jade Palaces, and Jade Palaces. It was very beautiful. We're here. We're finally here. Morong Sun Air shouted excitedly. The immortal crane stopped above the immortal fog. Then, the immortal fog turned towards Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air and called out to them. It seemed to be saying, "You can come down now." Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air came down from the immortal crane and stepped on the immortal fog. They discovered that there was a white jade staircase in the immortal fog. The white jade staircase extended all the way to a huge immortal door. Lin Feng and Morong Sun Air followed the white jade staircase and walked towards the depths. In the end, They stopped outside the immortal door. Immortal Court, Secret Territory. There was a plaque above the immortal door. On the plaque, there were 4 ancient words written in flamboyant calligraphy. Is this the secret territory left behind by the White Crane Boy? Murong Sun Air looked towards the depths. Lin Feng said, "It looks more like the place where the White Crane Boy cultivates. Let's go in and take a look." Murong Sun Air nodded. She couldn't wait to go in. Boom. But at that moment, there was a violent fluctuation coming from the depths. Then, 10 figures flew out. They were 10 golden men. Each of them had a powerful blood chi and were very strong. Why are there still people here? Murong Sun Air's face changed when she saw the 10 golden men flying out of the Immortal Court's secret territory. If there were still people living in the Immortal Court's secret territory, it would be a big problem. They had worked so hard to come here. Wouldn't it be difficult to get any treasures? Lin Feng shook his head. They're not people. They're puppets. But they're very high-level puppets. Could it be that the White Crane Boy left them here to protect the Immortal Court's secret territory? Murong Sun Air said. Lin Feng nodded. That's very likely. Be careful. The puppets are coming out. If we want to go in, we have to defeat them first. Murong Sun Air took out the 8 trigrams furnace, while Lin Feng took out the 9 demons painting. Then, he summoned his godly realm clone and the 3 toxic puppets. These golden-armored puppets were not simple. Their auras were extremely terrifying. So, Lin Feng didn't dare to be careless when facing the 10 puppets. Boom! A great battle broke out. It was a very difficult battle. After hundreds of rounds, Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air were exhausted. However, the 10 puppets were unharmed. Something's not right. Our attacks can't hurt these puppets, but our bodies are constantly in a state of exhaustion. We're getting weaker and weaker. If this continues, I'm afraid we won't be able to last long. Lin Feng said gloomily. He realized the seriousness of the situation. The 10 puppets were very strange. They seemed to be able to repair themselves. No matter what kind of damage they received, they could recover quickly. Chapter 1541. Murong Sun asked in a deep voice, "What should we do now? We can only choose to retreat temporarily and then think of another way." Lin Feng said. Whoosh. After forcing the puppets to retreat, Lin Feng and Murong Sun chose to retreat quickly. These puppets did not come out to chase after Lin Feng and Murong Sun. Their mission seemed to be to simply prevent others from entering the Immortal Court's secret territory. After Lin Feng and Murong Sun retreated, Lin Feng's Divine Realm Avatar and the 3 poisonous puppets also withdrew together. 10 puppets stood at the gate of the Immortal Court's secret territory, looking indifferent. These puppets are really difficult to deal with. I'm afraid it will be difficult for us to find a way to deal with them. Murong Sun felt a headache coming on. The 10 puppets did not show any flaws. Lin Feng said, there are actually 3 possibilities for their rapid recovery after being injured. One is because of the formation, the second is because of the materials, and the third is that when the 10 puppets were forged, both the self-healing formation and precious materials were added. But no matter what the reason is, it is not easy to destroy these puppets. Although it is not easy, it is not impossible to destroy them. Murong Sun's eyes suddenly lit up. She looked at Lin Feng and said, "Can we destroy them? Have you thought of a way?" Lin Feng said, "We have to destroy the puppets in an unstoppable manner, leaving them no time to repair themselves." Murong Sun said, "The 10 puppets work together to attack and defend well. It is completely impossible to destroy them in an unstoppable manner." Then Murong Sun seemed to have thought of something. Her eyes lit up slightly and said, "I forgot that you are also a powerful spirit array master. If we set up a formation, we can lure the 10 puppets into the formation and then use the formation to separate them. In this way, the 10 puppets will fight on their own, and we will attack them one by one. In this way, we will be able to completely destroy the 10 puppets one by one." Lin Feng nodded and said, "Yes, that's what I plan to do. We can use the formation to deal with these puppets." Lin Feng did not waste any time. He took out all kinds of formation materials and began to set up the formation. It took about 3 hours for Lin Feng to set up the formation successfully. After the formation was set up, Lin Feng and Murong Sun once again attacked the puppets. The battle broke out again. The 10 puppets were led into the formation set up by Lin Feng and Murong Sun in advance. Under the effect of the formation, the 10 puppets were separated. Lin Feng summoned his avatar and the 3 highly toxic puppets. Then he activated the 9 demon painting. Murong Sun activated the 8 trigrams furnace. The avatar and the 3 highly toxic puppets assisted her. It was equivalent to 6 God Realm experts besieging 1 highly toxic puppet at the same time. These highly toxic puppets could not withstand such a violent attack. Bang! Under the joint attack of Lin Feng, Murong Sun the avatar, and the 3 highly toxic puppets, the body of the highly toxic puppet directly burst into pieces. It's done. Murong Sun's eyes suddenly lit up. Although the abilities displayed by the golden-armored puppet were heaven-defying, it was only a puppet after all, not a real cultivator. So it was not that difficult to deal with it. Lin Feng and Murong Sun used the same method to deal with the other 9 puppets. Bang 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 next. The puppets suffered the same fate as the first puppet. Under the joint attack of Lin Feng, Murong Sun the avatar, and the 3 highly toxic puppets, they were all destroyed. Phew! After destroying the 10 puppets, Lin Feng and Murong Sun could finally breathe a sigh of relief. Lin Feng collected the materials of the golden puppet that were scattered everywhere. Murong Sun asked curiously, "Why are you collecting these junk?" Lin Feng said, "Some of the materials may not be damaged. I will separate them and use them to refine my 3 highly toxic puppets." Murong Sun's eyes suddenly lit up when he mentioned the highly toxic puppets. She was very interested in them. Lin Feng kept the avatar and the 3 highly toxic puppets in his body. Then he walked with Murong Sun to the Immortal Court's secret realm. The place was filled with immortal qi. It was as if they had come to the legendary place where the immortals lived. In the past, this place might have been very prosperous. Perhaps they would have been able to see fairies passing by. But now, it was empty. "Look, there's a huge dojo over there. It has the qi of the Tao." Lin Feng pointed at a huge square. He and Murong Sun quickly flew over. There was indeed the qi of the Tao there. Even after so many years, they could still feel it. Could it be the place where the White Crane boy taught and solved problems? Lin Feng muttered. Then he said, "Did the White Crane boy establish his own sect?" Murong Sun said, "I'm not sure. But I don't think someone as powerful as the White Crane boy could have been a servant of Yuanshi Tianzuan forever. So, it's very likely that he established a dojo and recruited a lot of disciples." Lin Feng nodded and said, "But the strange thing is, if this is the dojo of the White Crane boy back in the days, how did the inheritance disappear? Many places here are perfectly preserved. There are no traces of a great battle. It's really strange. I wonder what happened in the past." Murong Sun said, "Actually, there are many things that happened before the immemorial era. There are no historical records." "That's right." Lin Feng sighed and nodded. The past was gone. How many things were buried in the long river of history, unable to be explored? They were destined to become dust-covered secrets that no one knew about. They were destined to become eternal secrets. Lin Feng and Murong Sun didn't stay in the dojo for long. They flew towards the nearest palace. When they arrived, they saw a huge plaque above the hall with the words, "Achievement Hall," written on it. Lin Feng and Murong Sun entered the Achievement Hall. The first thing they saw was 2 statues. One of them was tall and had a transcendent aura. The other statue was skinny and mysterious. Huh, who are they? Lin Feng and Murong Sun were puzzled. Since this was the Achievement Hall, it should have a statue of the White Crane boy. Even if they didn't worship the White Crane boy, it was understandable that they worshipped the Yuanshi Tianzuan. But the key point was, the 2 statues in front of them weren't the Yuanshi Tianzuan. Who were they? Why were they worshipped here by the White Crane boy? Chapter 1542. Lin Feng said, "Look, traces of divine power are flowing into the 2 statues. This is the power of faith. They can even absorb the power of faith? What was the origin of these 2 idols? It's really strange. I don't think I've seen them before." Murong Sun was very confused. She looked left and right in the achievement hall, but she couldn't find anything. There should be couplets here. Why is there nothing here? Lin Feng pointed at the two pillars in the hall. Morong Sooner said, Look, there were some vague imprints, but they seem to have disappeared. There must have been couplets here before. Come, kneel 3 times and kowtow 9 times to these 2 unknown gods and pray sincerely. Let's see if something unexpected will happen, Lin Feng said. He felt that these 2 statues had a great origin. This was the White Crane Boy's training ground. It was fine if the palace didn't worship him, but it didn't even worship his master, Yuanshi Tianzuan. Yet, it worshipped 2 unknown existences. It was really strange. Lin Feng and Morong Sun knelt on the prayer mats in front of the 2 statues, then kowtowed 9 times to the 2 statues. Suddenly, something strange happened. The couplets that had disappeared on the 2 pillars reappeared. Lin Feng and Morong Sun stood up and saw the new couplets. Their faces were filled with joy. The couplet on the left read, First Hongjun, then Tian. The couplet on the right read, Luya Dao Emperor is still in front. First Hongjun, then Tian, Luya Dao Emperor is still in front. What does this mean? Morong Sun was very confused. Lin Feng shook his head. He didn't understand what it meant either. Pangu created the world. It shouldn't have anything to do with Hongjun or Luya Dao Emperor, right? Suddenly, the ancient characters on the couplet seemed to come alive, emitting a golden light. Then, the golden light poured into Lin Feng and Morong Sun's bodies. A large amount of information appeared in Lin Feng and Morong Sun's minds. Before the primordial chaos, the world still belonged to the primordial chaos. Grand Mist Era. This was the first era, which was the era before the Chaos Era. During the primordial era, 4 ancient beings were born. The 4 living beings were primordial chaos, Daolord Luya, Hongjun, and Hun Kuan. In the entire Grand Mist Era, there were only 4 such beings. Their lifespans were practically limitless. Later on, the Grand Mist Era ended, and they entered the Primal Chaos Era. Finally, the Primal Chaos Era was no longer so boring. This was because the Primal Chaos Era had begun to give birth to new life forms, such as Nuwa, Pangu, Grand Supreme, Guangyuan, Gonggong, and many others. This was the so-called Xiantian life form. The 4 great powers of the primordial era had enlightened some Xiantian life forms. These enlightened Xiantian life forms were the first batch of Xiantian life forms to awaken, and were also the most powerful Xiantian life forms. Pangu was one of them. Pangu was enlightened by Hongjun, so Hongjun was Pangu's teacher. Countless years ago, there was a saying that had been passed down, but now, no one had heard of it. This sentence was, Hongjuan's Tao is passed down to the 3 friends. This sentence was referring to Hongjuan's 3 disciples. Taoist Hongjun was the master of Grand Supreme Elderly Lord, Heavenly Lord of Primordial Beginning, and Grand Master of Heaven. Taoist Hongjun was the ancestor of all immortals, and he was also known as Patriarch Hongyuan. Hongyuan referred to the original state of the universe before heaven and earth were created, and the void was separated. There was a saying that Hongjun came first, then Tian. Taoist Hongjuan's great Tao was passed down to Grand Supreme Elderly Lord, Primordial Beginning, and Grand Master of Heaven. The 3 of them founded Chan School, Tao School, and Jie School respectively. During the primal chaos, the Tao was born. The Tao transformed into Hongjun, and he was the one who created the world. Apart from the great Tao, the 3 primordial Qi were born. Laozi separated and reunited in the primal chaos Qi, and the 3 lights as the beginning. The Tao transformed into an incarnation, and the cicada transformed into the world. The primal chaos Qi, 3 pure ones, was Heavenly Lord of Primordial Beginning, Grand Master of Heaven. Therefore, there was a saying that Hongjuan's Tao is passed down to the 3 friends. The 3 Qi was one and was born for the Tao. Actually, among the 4 existences of the Primal Chaos era, Hongjun was only ranked 3rd. The second was Taoist Luya. Taoist Luya was the essence of fire. He flew out of the 3 realms and was not in the 5 elements. He was not in the 3 sects or the land of bliss. He was not under the control of the human king and was not in the netherworld. Xiao Xiao was free to roam, free to be an itinerant saint immortal. However, there was a saying, Patriarch Hongjun is the #1 immortal. His disciple, Pengu, opened the sky. First, there was Hongjun, then there was Tian. Tao Lord Luya is still in front. He is only 18 years old this year. One chaos is 1 year. Therefore, it seemed that Luya just did not like to be controlled. Tao Lord Luya was an itinerant immortal on the North Ocean's Fishdace Island. His seniority was extremely high, but because he did not have any disciples, others did not know much about his deeds. However, Taoist Luya's identity and background were frightening. The couplet here, there is Tian behind Hongjun. Taoist Luya is still in front. It was not belittling Hongjun's identity. It was proving Taoist Luya's identity. This was a figure at the level of the 4 giants of the Primal Chaos era. His status was even higher than Hongjun's. Lin Feng was extremely shocked. These were all secrets that had disappeared. Many people even thought that Pengu, Nuwa, the heavenly lord of primordial beginning, and the others were gods that came out of myths. Therefore, there was no need to mention the 4 giants that were even more ancient than Pengu, Nuwa, and the other living beings. Perhaps no one would believe him even if he told them the secrets that he had learned now, because it was too shocking. I didn't expect that there would be such powerful figures who predated the Khanate life forms. So they are the earliest living beings in the world. Murong Sun Er's eyes lit up. Obviously, she was shocked. Of course, Lin Feng was also shocked. He rubbed his chin and looked at the statues of Hongjun and Taoist Luya. Then, he said, let's have a good epiphany here. I feel that this place might hide the Tao of Hongjun and Taoist Luya. Hongjun was the master of Grand Supreme Elder, the heavenly lord of primordial beginning, Pengu, and the Grandmaster of Heaven. Taoist Luya could be considered Hongjun's senior brother. The Tao left behind by such a figure. That was too terrifying. It must be so powerful that it was unimaginable. If he could have an epiphany, the benefits would be endless. Lin Feng and Murong Sun sat on the futon and comprehended the Tao. Wanting to comprehend the Tao within was naturally not an easy thing to do. However, as time passed, Lin Feng still sensed a special Tao aura. It was hazy. Lin Feng seemed to have sensed a mysterious, ancient, and vast world. He tried his best to connect with that world. Finally, Lin Feng successfully connected with that mysterious world. Boom! He felt the world spin as he entered that ancient world. Chapter 1543. This was a blurry world. He couldn't even see what was going on around him. What is this place? Lin Feng frowned. His spiritual will had fused with this world. And now, his spiritual will had transformed into his appearance. He was flying in this world. Then, Lin Feng heard a cry. A fiery red divine bird flew across the sky. That divine bird looked very much like a crow. Taoist Luya is a living being born from the essence of fire. Could the existence that just flew past be transformed by Taoist Luya? Lin Feng was shocked and couldn't help but mutter to himself. He quickly chased after it. In the end, Lin Feng caught up to the fire crow. The fire crow finally transformed into a Taoist. He sat on top of a mountain peak. It was unknown how many years had passed since he sat on this mountain peak. Later, someone came to look for Taoist Luya. This was another ancient existence, Patriarch Hun Kuan, one of the 4 giants of the primordial era. He was ranked 4th among the 4 giants. Enlightening living beings is also a kind of fate, Patriarch Hun Kuan said. Could this be the Chaos era? Lin Feng muttered. During the Chaos era, Patriarch Hongjun and Patriarch Hun Kuan began to enlighten some living beings. Patriarch Hongjun enlightened powerful living beings like Pengu. Patriarch Hun Kuan liked to enlighten innate living beings in the shape of strange beasts. Not interested, Taoist Luya rolled his eyes and said, among the 4 giants of the primordial era, as the first living being in the universe, Hongmeng was also the most mysterious existence and rarely appeared. When Hongjun and Hun Kuan were enlightening living beings, Hongmeng was still missing. As for Taoist Luya, he had a rather lazy personality and was not very interested in these things. Therefore, even if Patriarch Hun Kuan persuaded Taoist Luya to enlighten some living beings, then he would let those living beings pass down his teachings. This way, His teachings could be passed down forever. With more disciples, there would be more people who believed in him. Yes, cultivation. Naturally, there would be great benefits. However, Taoist Luya was clearly not interested in such matters. In the end, Patriarch Hun Kuan stopped persuading Taoist Luya and chose to leave. Taoist Luya had been to many places. He saw the primal chaos era filled with vitality, which was completely different from the Grand Mist era he lived in. In this era, creatures were being nurtured, as if a brand new world was about to be opened. No one knew how many years had passed. Pengu created the world. Nuwa had created billions of living beings. The world became more and more lively. Born before the opening of the sky, buried after the opening of the sky. Taoist Luya was a very strange person. He played in the human world and later felt that there was nothing fun in this world. He thought of burying himself. He had tried many methods, but they all failed. This made Lin Feng speechless. As one of the four giants of the primordial era, Taoist Luya was actually such a weirdo. After Taoist Luya failed to bury himself, he came to the outer realms. He sat in the starry sky and looked up at the stars in the sky. Immediately after, over the long years, Taoist Luya observed the changes in the stars and evolved a star chart. This star chart was later named Luya's star chart by Taoist Luya. Lin Feng was shocked. Luya's star chart was an extremely powerful divine ability. To be precise, this was the soul-refining technique created by Taoist Luya. Lin Feng sat cross-legged like Taoist Luya and carefully sensed the changes in the stars. After an unknown period of time, Lin Feng suddenly had a strange feeling. He realized that sometimes he seemed to have become Taoist Luya. Sometimes he became himself again. However, regardless of whether he became Taoist Luya or himself, he was still sitting cross-legged in the starry sky world. Then, he observed the changes in the stars. Gradually, Lin Feng felt enlightened. He realized that the image of the stars in the sky had appeared in his mind. Now, the stars in the sky had turned into a picture. Every time his spiritual will invaded the picture, Lin Feng could see the movement and changes of the stars in the sky. And every time he observed the star chart, his soul power seemed to be able to increase. Lin Feng had heard that the primordial star chart was the #1 soul-refining technique in the primordial era. However, how could the primordial star chart compare to the Luya's star chart passed down by Taoist Luya? The primordial star chart was at most a divine ability created by a great emperor. As for Luya's star chart, it was created by one of the four giants of the primordial era, Taoist Luya. As for Taoist Luya's cultivation level, Lin Feng did not know. However, one thing was clear. Taoist Luya's strength was definitely not something that a great emperor could compare to. Billions of stars were mountains and rivers. The universe was hidden in his heart. With a thought, he could reverse the stars. With a move, he could shatter the worlds. Incantations echoed in Lin Feng's mind. The mysteries of Luya's star chart flowed in Lin Feng's heart. After an unknown period of time, Luya's star chart was finally deeply imprinted in Lin Feng's mind. He could never forget it. He had learned the soul-refining technique created by Taoist Luya. To Lin Feng, this could be said to be a great opportunity. Luya's star chart was mysterious and unfathomable. It was not as simple as increasing one's soul power. Of course, Lin Feng needed to slowly comprehend the specific mysteries. Taoist Luya stood up. I want to bury myself. Why can't I do it? I wonder what Hongming, Hongjun, and Hun Kuan are doing now? Taoist Luya muttered. He first went to look for Hongjun. This was because Taoist Luya had the strongest relationship with Hongjun. When he arrived at Hongjun's place of seclusion, it was already empty. He did not know where Hongjun had gone to. Where did that old fart go? Taoist Luya muttered. After leaving Taoist Hongjun's Tao Temple, he immediately headed to Patriarch Hun Kuan's Tao Temple. However, after arriving at Patriarch Hun Kuan's Tao Temple, he did not find him. Patriarch Hun Kuan had disappeared without a trace like Hongjun. Where did he go? Could it be that he went to enlighten innate spirits again? Taoist Luya muttered. I'll go take a look at old Decent. Taoist Luya left and headed to Hongming's Tao Temple. Hongming was ranked first among the four heavyweights. He was also the most mysterious existence. Rumor had it that Hongming was a living being born from purple light. In the world of cultivators, purple light represented nobility, just like how domineering it was. Purple domineering aura represented supreme domineering aura. After arriving at Hongming Dao Temple, he found that Hongming was not there. At that moment, Taoist Luya felt that something was amiss. He used his technique of becoming one with the world to sense Hongming, Hongjun, and Patriarch Hun Kuan. However, the result left Taoist Luya aghast. He was actually unable to sense Hongming, Hongjun, or Patriarch Hun Kuan's auras. Lin Feng was also very surprised. What was going on? Why had Hongming, Hongjun, and Patriarch Hun Kuan's auras vanished? Could it be that he had fallen? But who could have killed them? After entering the 10th treasury, he discovered that it was filled with piles of immortal iron and immortal stones. Murong Shui said in surprise, "This is the place where treasures and materials are stored." Lin Feng nodded. Looking at the piles of various materials, his eyes were shining. Heavenly crystal stone, black demon stone, raging flame heavenly stone, great flood dragon bloodstone, Qilin fallen immortal iron, shimming ghost iron. Looking at the piles of various materials, Lin Feng felt very excited. These materials were all rare treasures. At the very least, they could be used to create divine tools. Some materials, such as the 9th Heaven Sacred Stone, could even be used to create emperor weapons. We're really rich. This kind of material can be sold for a sky-high price. With so many materials, how many divine tools can be created? Lin Feng took a deep breath and said aloud. Chapter 1545. Murong Sun curled her lips and said, "Why do you need so many treasures? It's better to accumulate treasures, magical powers, or divine-level star stones." Murong Sun obviously didn't care about these things. However, it was normal. Lin Feng was very excited when he saw the various materials for forging treasures. This was because Lin Feng was very ambitious. In the future, Lin Feng will continue to expand his forces, especially when he goes to the 9 regions in the future. Maybe he will establish his own forces. To establish a force, he naturally needs to build a strong army. To build a cultivator army, he needs to equip the cultivator army with powerful treasures to increase the combat power of the cultivator army. Divine tools are precious. This is because the materials for forging divine tools are too difficult to find. Many divine realm cultivators can't even forge divine tools because they can't find the materials, or they can't find the precious materials to upgrade their life source treasures to the level of divine tools. Therefore, for the ambitious Lin Feng who wants to do something, these materials for forging divine tools are very precious. Murong Sun obviously doesn't think so. She is a woman and has no ambition. At most, she cares about her future cultivation. Naturally, she wants to get more cultivation resources. Lin Feng said, "If you don't want these forging materials, I will take them all and open the other treasures. You can choose what you want." Murong Sun has no objection to Lin Feng's proposal. She said, "Okay, in that case, it's a deal." Lin Feng nodded and began to collect the forging materials in the treasury. With so many forging materials, Lin Feng felt that it would be no problem to forge thousands of divine tools. The only problem is that it is difficult to find a divine realm blacksmith. But this is something to consider in the future. After all the materials were collected by Lin Feng and Murong Sun continued to look for the next treasury. They found the 11th treasury. After Lin Feng opened the 11th treasury, he found that there are many bookshelves in the treasury. And on the bookshelves, there are all kinds of scrolls. Ancient star map. Lin Feng was surprised and found many ancient star maps on a bookshelf. This bookshelf is full of ancient star maps. This is the ancient star map to the Undying Realm? Lin Feng opened a scroll of the ancient star map and suddenly showed a shocked expression. The Undying Realm is the most mysterious realm in the 3,000 Great Worlds. It's also ranked first in the 3,000 Great Worlds. Since ancient times, how many experts want to go to the Undying Realm? The Undying Realm had true and pure immortal qi. Cultivators who cultivated in the Undying Realm had a chance to enter the Emperor Realm. Among the 3,000 great worlds, perhaps only the Undying Realm, the ancient therefore. Chapter 1546. Huh, why is there no sound? It's really strange. Lin Feng frowned. Did I hear it wrong? After muttering to himself, Lin Feng put the ancient ship into his storage ring. He will be able to use it when he travels in the Starry Sky world in the future. It's said that an ancient ship can fight against a fleet. It's a powerful ancient ship like the Xian Yuan. Lin Feng continued to collect other treasures. In the end, he and Murong Sun Air divided the treasures in the treasury. After coming out of the treasury, the two continued to look for other treasures. There are a lot of palaces here, a total of 300 to 400 palaces. However, Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air did not find any new treasures. It seems like there are only 12 treasures. Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air took the treasures of the 9 vaults. The remaining 3 vaults were taken by the mysterious Taoist priest. There seems to be a medicinal garden over there. Murong Sun Air pointed at a courtyard not far away. Immortal qi lingered in the courtyard, bursts of dazzling immortal light. A rich medicinal fragrance spread out from the courtyard. Ya. Bibi woke up first. It opened its big cute eyes and rubbed its eyes with its little paws. It looked at the direction of the medicinal garden and almost drooled. After seeing such a charmingly naive Bei, Murong Sun Er's eyes suddenly lit up. Bei was such a cute, snow-white little beast. To a woman, it definitely possessed a huge killing power. What kind of little beast is this? It's so cute. Let sister hug you. Murong Sun Air stretched out her hands and wanted to hug the little beast. However, the little beast was one step ahead. It turned into a beam of light and flew towards the medicinal garden. Murong Sun Air hugged empty air and groaned in dissatisfaction. The dragon rabbit also woke up at this time. After it came out, it also turned into a beam of light and rushed towards the medicinal garden. The 2 little gluttons are very young, so they are very sleepy. Only after smelling delicious food will they be excited. Dragon rabbit? You're actually raising a dragon rabbit? Murong Sun Air exclaimed in surprise. Lin Feng walked towards the herb garden. He looked at Murong Sun Air and said, I'm telling you, don't even think about my 2 little beasts. Murong Sun Air snorted. Am I that kind of person? Lin Feng asked solemnly. You are? I'll beat you to death for slandering me. Murong Sun Air screamed and rushed towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng got rid of Murong Sun Air in a few leaps, and then came to the front of the herb garden. He observed for a moment, and discovered that the medicinal garden originally had restrictions. However, perhaps too much time had passed, so the restrictions of the medicinal garden had basically dissipated. Lin Feng broke the last few weak restrictions and entered the medicinal garden. A refreshing medicinal fragrance filled the air. In the medicinal garden, there were all kinds of spiritual herbs and spiritual fruits. Many of the spiritual herbs were more than 10,000 years old. King-level herbs that were more than 50,000 years old could be seen everywhere, and there were even many sage herbs that were more than 100,000 years old. In the depths of the medicinal garden, there were 10 immortality peach trees. Lin Feng was shocked when he saw the immortality peach trees. The immortality peach trees were densely packed with immortality peaches. One peach could extend one's life by 3,000 years. That was a treasure. Wow! Immortality peach trees. We're rich. Murong Sun Air exclaimed excitedly. Bibi and the dragon rabbit were sitting on top of the tree, eating immortality peaches. The 2 little ones were eating happily, and their stomachs were round. Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air arrived in front of the 10 immortality peach trees. Murong Sun Air took out a shovel and a hoe from her storage ring. Lin Feng asked curiously, What are you doing? I'm going to move the immortality peaches and grow them myself. Murong Sun Air said. Can you grow them? Lin Feng asked. Do you see this soil? It's called Immortal Jade Magic Soil. It's used to grow all kinds of spiritual herbs and immortality peach trees. As long as we have this soil, we won't have to worry about the immortality peach trees dying. Murong Sun Air pointed at the soil under her feet. This kind of soil was very special. It was pitch black in color. Sometimes it would emit strands of immortal chi, and sometimes strands of demonic chi. Every grain of soil was sparkling and translucent, as if they were polished jade. Lin Feng took out a shovel and a hoe. These things were essential for cultivators. After all, they could come across precious spiritual herbs when they were outside. If the roots of some spiritual herbs were destroyed, their medicinal properties would be greatly reduced. Therefore, they needed to use these tools to carefully dig them out. Lin Feng dug out 8 immortality peach trees and a large amount of immortal jade magic soil. After plucking all the immortality peach trees, he planted them in the demonic bead space. Bibi and Dragon Rabbit were also full. They returned to the Imperial Beast pouch and went back to sleep. Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air continued to pluck spiritual herbs in the herb garden. This time, they really made a fortune by finding the White Crane Boys' dojo. The only pity was that the 9 treasures were taken away by the Taoist. Otherwise, this trip to the White Crane Boys' dojo would be perfect. After plucking the spiritual herbs, Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air continued to look for a way to go to the primitive secret realm. They found a huge palace in the depths of the palace. The palace's door was tightly shut. Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air pushed the door open. Buzz then. A terrifying sword chi shook out. It instantly enveloped Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air. At that moment, Lin Feng and Murong Sun Air felt the aura of death enveloping them. Retreat. Lin Feng grabbed Murong Sun Air and got rid of the terrifying sword chi. They quickly retreated from the area covered by the sword chi. Murong Sun Air's face was slightly pale. She said, "What a terrifying sword chi. Is there a peerless divine sword in this palace?" Lin Feng nodded solemnly and looked into the depths of the palace. At that moment, he saw 9 palm-sized swords floating in the air. Each of the swords shook slightly. It was as if they could collapse the void. Chaos-treasured swords? Murong Sun Air also saw the 9 swords and could not help but exclaim. Murong Sun Air's eyes shone brightly. She said, "I know. These 9 swords are not only powerful treasures, but they are also the 9 keys to enter the primitive secret realm." "Oh? How so?" Lin Feng asked. "Because the primitive secret realm is surrounded by the power of chaos. It is as difficult as ascending to the heavens to break it open. These chaos-treasured swords should be able to tear apart the power of chaos protecting the primitive secret realm. As long as they tear apart the power of chaos protecting the primitive secret realm, it will be easy to break the barrier of the primitive secret realm and enter it," Murong Sun Air said. As soon as Murong Sun Air finished speaking, the 9 chaos-treasured swords quickly rushed out. Chapter 1547. 9 Swords Together. Open the Secret Realm. 9 small swords of chaos flew out of the palace as a deep voice reverberated through the clouds. Then, the 9 flying swords quickly flew into the sky. Not good. The 9 tiny swords seemed to be trying to escape. Murong Sun Air's pretty face changed slightly. She quickly took out her 8 trigrams furnace. The 8 trigrams cauldron flew into the air, intending to devour the 9 chaos swords by force. However, the 9 tiny swords of chaos unleashed billions of sword chi and sent the 8 trigrams cauldron flying. What a powerful little primal chaos sword! Lin Feng was shocked when he saw the 9 small primal chaos swords send the 8 trigrams cauldron flying. Lin Feng hurriedly took out his heaven-swallowing jar. The heaven-swallowing jar flew over. What a powerful devouring power! It enveloped the 9 small chaotic swords. Just like the 8 trigrams cauldron, the 9 tiny swords sent the heaven-devouring jar flying. No, he's too strong. Lin Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. After the heaven-devouring jar was sent flying, he quickly flew out. With a wave of his hand, monstrous mana surged out and wrapped around a small chaos sword. Murong Sun Er continued to use her 8 trigrams furnace to collect the small primal chaos swords. This time, Murong Sun Er also locked onto a small primal chaos sword. Lin Feng and Murong Sun Er each took a small chaos sword. Just as he was about to collect the other chaos swords had already flown far away. Chase them. These primal chaos swords are priceless treasures. We can't let them escape. Lin Feng quickly chased after him. Murong Sun Er also chased after them. Unfortunately, they weren't able to catch up to the rest of the Chaos Swords. Those tiny chaotic swords tore through the void and disappeared without a trace. What a pity! Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Right now, there were a total of 3 swords in his revered sword tomb. Black Dragon Sword, Undying Sword, Sword of Spring and Autumn. The power of the revered sword mound would increase tremendously once it was placed inside. The only pity was that, as of now, he only had 1 Chaos Sword. These small swords are like the keys to the Origin Secret Realm. We each have a small sword, so we have the keys to enter the Origin Secret Realm. That's the biggest gain from this trip to the White Crane Boys dojo, Murong Sun Er said. But where is the Premier Mystic Realm? We don't know. Lin Feng frowned slightly. Now that the 7 swords have flown out, they'll definitely be taken by some powerful groups. Those strong cultivators will definitely be able to sense where the Origin Secret area is. The 9 swords need to be used at the same time to tear the Origin Secret area apart. Therefore, we don't need to know where the Origin Secret area is. When the time comes, those people will definitely send people to find us so that we can open the Origin Secret area with them. Murong Sun Er said. Lin Feng nodded. He left the Immortal Court's secret realm with Murong Sun Er. The White Crane was waiting outside. The 2 of them sat on the White Crane. After the White Crane let out a loud cry, it spread its wings and flew into the distance. After about a day and a half, the White Crane carried Lin Feng and Murong Sun Er to the outer area of the painting world. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk Lin Feng and Murong Sun Er jumped up and flew out of the painting world. Then, they appeared in the room. As soon as they flew out, the painting scroll spontaneously combusted. Murong Sun Er suddenly shouted, "Why is it combusting?" Lin Feng said, "It seems that the White Crane boy doesn't want anyone to enter his dojo." Murong Sun Er nodded helplessly. It was nighttime. Lin Feng saw the bright moon through the window. He looked at Murong Sun Er with a smile and said, "It's such a beautiful night. A man and a woman alone in a room. Why don't we turn off the lights and go to sleep?" Murong Sun Er's pretty face turned cold. She stared fiercely at Lin Feng and said fiercely, "Why don't you go die?" Then, she raised her right leg and kicked Lin Feng before running out of the door. Lin Feng smiled. It was quite interesting to tease Murong Sun Er. Tiandao State. Tiandao Sect. It was famous. Every year, countless people would go to Tiandao Sect, or to ask for immortal medicine, or to join the sect. There were all kinds of reasons. Therefore, the road to Tiandao Sect was extremely lively. Cultivators could be seen passing by everywhere. Tiandao Town was 38,000 miles away from Tiandao Sect. It would take about 5 days to reach by beast carriage. However, it would take some time to pass through an ancient primitive forest where fierce beasts ran rampant. But even if it took some time, it should take about 8 or 9 days to reach Tiandao Sect. People came and went in the town, and it was very lively. Most of the cultivators here were going to Tiandao Sect. Lin Feng was eating in a restaurant. The restaurant was very popular, and it was full every day. Many people were talking about the various rumors they heard. However, no one knew how true these rumors were. There were also many cultivators who were bragging about their relationship with a certain powerful figure. Or, they would brag about how many days and nights they had fought with a powerful ferocious beast and finally killed it. This kind of restaurant was a place to gather and brag. At this time, 3 people came to the second floor. One was an old man, and the other 2 were young. The old man should be an old servant or a housekeeper. He followed behind the 2 young people. The 2 young people were a man and a woman. The man looked about 27 or 28 years old. He had sharp eyebrows and bright eyes. He was very handsome. The woman was about 22 or 23 years old. She had an enchanting figure and a delicate oval face. She could be called a rare beauty. "There's no room. Why don't we go somewhere else?" The woman frowned when she saw that the restaurant was full. The man said, "Every restaurant is like this. There are too many people going to Tiandao Sect." The man looked around and saw Lin Feng drinking alone. He walked over to Lin Feng's table. "Brother, may I have a table with you?" The man cupped his fists and asked. Lin Feng nodded and said, "Have a seat." "Haha, Brother is really forthright. I am Chang Jian, and this is my younger sister, Chang Qianqian. How should I address you? The man said with a smile. Lin Feng said indifferently, we met by chance. There's no need to ask for my name. When Chang Qianqian saw that Chang Jian was defeated, she immediately looked at Lin Feng coldly. She wanted to say something, but Chang Jian quickly pulled her back. Chang Jian knew his younger sister's personality. Once she made a scene, it would be difficult to get away. She wanted to show off her abilities, but she did not have any bad intentions. Lin Feng did not pay too much attention to her style of speaking. If an expert like Lin Feng did not have this much tolerance, it would be impossible for him to gain the support of so many cultivators in so many places. In reality, Lin Feng was a very broad-minded person. Chang Jian hurriedly said, Brother, my sister is young and doesn't know any better. If she says something wrong, please don't blame her. Lin Feng smiled. Don't worry, I won't bicker with her. Chang Qianqian was furious. What kind of person is this? Won't bicker with me? He's just a wandering cultivator. His tone was as arrogant as the heavens. She really did not know what this guy had to be so proud of. After the meal, they hurried on their way. Other than Chang Jian, Chang Qianqian, and the housekeeper, there were also a dozen guards in the Chang clan. Lin Feng sat in the beast carriage at the back with his eyes closed. Chang Jian and Chang Qianqian sat in the beast carriage at the front. Second brother, why are you so polite to that person? He's just a rogue cultivator, yet he acts so high and mighty. We asked him for his name, but he didn't even tell us. Who does he think he is? There's no need to care about this kind of person. Chang Qianqian said. Chang Jian said, You're still young and don't know how to judge people. Although I can't see through this person, I feel that there's something strange about him. He might not be an ordinary person. Although Chang Qianqian did not think that Lin Feng was some big shot, but Chang Qianqian was actually quite convinced by her second brother's ability to judge people. Hearing her second brother say this, she could only nod her head. The beast carriage passed through the primitive forest, and from time to time, they would see many cultivators passing by one after another. On this day, when they were resting, they seemed to be able to see mountains in the distance and fog curling up in spirals. It seemed that they were not far away from the exit. The group was relatively lucky and did not encounter any powerful beasts. We'll be out in another day's journey. That's the immortal mountain where the heavenly Tao sect is located. It's a holy land for seeking immortality. Chang Jian pointed to the mist-shrouded area in the depths and said. Lin Feng smiled and said, The heavenly Tao sect can be called a place for seeking immortality, but it can't be said to be a place for seeking immortality. Such a force is like a grain of sand in the Milky Way. It's nothing. A true place for seeking immortality is at least one of the top forces in the ancient times. Brother is experienced and knowledgeable. I've learned a lot. Chang Jian cupped his fists. Lin Feng smiled and said, Walk around more and come into contact with more people. You will know the difference between seeking immortality and seeking immortality. Chang Qianqian, who was at the side, could not help but roll her eyes. She thought to herself, this guy's tone is too arrogant. Does he really think of himself as some kind of powerful person? Chang Qianqian was a little dissatisfied with her second brother, Chang Jian. That guy is obviously the same age as you. Yet, he refuted what you said. Isn't he teaching you a lesson? He's a rogue cultivator, and a rogue cultivator of the same generation as you. What right does he have to teach you a lesson? You're a disciple of an aristocratic family. He's not giving you any face. You're still nodding and praising him, humbly accepting his teachings. How disappointing. Chang Qianqian looked at her second brother helplessly. She remembered what her second brother had told her. She didn't want to offend Lin Feng, but she groaned coldly inside. Wait until you're in a place like the Tian Dao sect. You're just a small independent cultivator. You'll be at a loss. I'll make fun of you then. You'll never be able to raise your head again. You'll never be able to raise your head again. Thinking of this, Chang Qianqian's mood seemed to improve a lot. A day later, the group finally arrived at the outskirts of the heavenly Tao sect. Looking into the depths, there was a white mist lingering around the mountains. There was a dragon vein hibernating underground. The Heavenly Tao sect could be considered a rather good cultivation holy land. Lin Feng's mood was very complicated. I haven't seen you for 10 years. I wonder if you're doing well? What will it be like when we meet again? Will we be strangers? You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.